All right, good evening and welcome to the Old Goat Stream. I'm your host, as always, Mark W. And this is Mark W. Plays Old Games on a Thursday. Hooray, thank you for coming. And it is December 28th. Christmas Day just passed, so I hope Santa Claus was kind to everybody. And yeah, here I am doing another Old Goat Stream. Originally I was planning to do an Atari stream. I got my Atari paddles working, the old school paddles. I'll show you what those look like real quick for the fun of it. Uh, they look like this. If you've ever played Atari, you've probably seen these paddles. I'm not playing with them tonight, mainly because I thought it would be fun to play with Rob Bob 2-player. He's not available, unfortunately. He said he thought he was going to be, but he had other plans. So I decided to try something else. And this is a stream I've been trying to do or been thinking about doing for a long time. And it is to try Ultima IV, the Sega Master System version. Now, Ultima IV was always one of my favorite games of all time for quite a while. You know, I guess my passion for it tapered off a little bit over the years, but I still like it quite a bit. And it's an old school RPG, so it has some of the problems inherent in many old school RPGs. And the one I played back in the day was the Commodore 64 version. It's just such a deep game. It's different. Your character has to be moral and embody 8 different virtues rather than just hacking and slashing their way across the world. It's just such an interesting game. It comes with good feelies. Like, it has a cloth map of the world and like a spell book, kind of like with like a faux leather cover, simulated, cover. It's just really deep and cool, and it always captured my imagination. And over the years, eventually I heard that the Sega Master version, which was never released in the US, by the way, but it was released in Japan and Europe, and I guess that's it. Maybe some other places, but not in the US. It actually fixes or solves some of the problems with the original game. And one of the problems is, for me, this is a problem, maybe not for everybody. I like a lot of old school games, but what I don't like is old school RPGs where you have a first person view and everything looks identical. You're like in some labyrinth or whatever. And in Ultima 4, it had that kind of thing, but it was limited to the dungeons. Normally, if you're in the town or the overworld kind of area, it's like a top down view, like a tile based view. But in the dungeons, it was first person. And they don't give you maps. You have to draw out the maps on graph paper or something like that. But what I learned is that the Sega Master version does away with that. So even the dungeons are kind of tile based, like an overhead sort of view. Another thing they do away with that's kind of tedious, and this is kind of both a pro and a con of the original. In the original, when you talk to people in like the towns and the castle, it's really important to do so because you learn a lot of crucial information from them. But it's kind of tedious. You have to think of what to type, and don't mind all this garbage on my screen. I'm trying to get a text editor ready because I realize I'm going to have to take some notes. Sorry about that. Just organizing my garbage of windows. What I was saying was, you would have to think of what to type to people. Like, you would usually start with the standard things. You would type the subject of what you want to say, like name. And the guy says, well, my name is, Bob the blacksmith. Or he wouldn't say Bob the blacksmith. He'd say, my name is Bob. Then you type job. And he would say, I am a blacksmith. Health, meaning how are you? I am good. Then you could type in topics that are relevant to the game. Like, you could name one of the virtues, like honesty. And if he knows anything about that, he'd say, oh yeah, I know the rune of honesty or whatever, the shrine of honesty is to the east or something like that. Now, because Sega Master works with a gamepad that looks, it's kind of a very sparse gamepad. Let me show what that looks like real quick. It would be very difficult to type out words like job and name and whatever, any subject. So this game gives you a menu of chat options that I think makes the game probably easier. And in a sense, it kind of wipes away some of the mystery of trying, the discovery of the game. But at the same time, I think that would make it a lot easier playing it these days. So I have those 2 improvements are really appealing sounding to me. And there's one more actually that is in combat. The way it would work, and I might be a little hazy on the corrections that the Sega Master version makes, but in the old version you basically attacked north, south, east, or west. And if there's an enemy diagonal to you, a little awkward, you have to like step to the left or the right and then attack up or whatever. Like, it was just a little weird. So this game lets you attack, I believe it's either diagonally or with a cursor. And I'll have to see how it is when I get to combat, but especially with like missile weapons, it would be nice if you can do a cursor, so it's like you don't have to be like exactly lined up with the enemy just to shoot them with a bow or something. But anyway, those all sounded really appealing to me, and I was looking into this game more and more, and I found a lot of people consider the Sega Master version to be actually the definitive version. Anyway, why don't we stop blabbing and look at some of the goodies this game comes with. So this is the manual. This is different from the Commodore one I had. This is the Sega one. And I'm going to read through these manuals. There's more than just this, though. This is just the basic, like, controls and how menus work and stuff like that. How the user interface works. But there's a lot of stuff here. They have the Book of Wisdom. This is one book that is, this is the one that contains all the info about spells. And it's really, like, all about trying to, you know, get into the theme of the game, too. Like, it, you know, it's written like some ancient tome from some, you know, some old wise sage wrote this or something, or an old wizard. So this book, what it does is it tells you all the reagents you can get in the game. That's how I've always pronounced that word. I don't know if it's correct, but reagents, I'll keep going with that. These are ingredients that you get that you have to acquire to concoct spells. So you need sulfurous ash, ginseng, garlic, spider silk, blood moss. And I'm going to spend some time looking over these manuals live. Black pearl. I remember that one was relatively rare. Nightshade was pretty rare. Mandrake root was also pretty rare. And some of these you can just buy in the store. Some of them you have to find out in the field. And that's interesting because as you scroll down this spell book, it tells you each of the spells. And you see, it tells you what you have to blend together. You mix the reagents. In this case, it says Awaken requires ginseng for its healing qualities and garlic in order to ward off the coming of sleep. So to cast the spell Awaken, you have to like pre-mix it ahead of time. You would mix a usage of the Awaken spell by mixing 1 unit of ginseng with 1 unit of garlic, and then you have Awaken. And as you can see, there's 1 spell per letter in the alphabet, which made more sense on the, you know, Commodore, Apple II, whatever, Atari 8-bit computer versions, because, you know, you would hit the button to cast a spell, maybe it was C, and then you would just press the letter of the alphabet, like B to blink or A to awaken. And I always thought this was a really cool spell system. Although there is some work to it. You know, you got to look up in the manual what the ingredients are and, you know, navigate the interface to mix the spells ahead of time. To me, it's just such an immersive and cool system that I love it. But it's possible my, you know, lessened attention span, now that I'm an adult, might sometimes make it feel tedious. I'm going in with a positive attitude, though, that hopefully I'm still going to love this game. Here's another example with the blink spell, which is like a teleportation. You would mix together spider silk and blood moss. And one of the fun things about this I discovered is it's kind of like an Easter egg in the game, where it was like, I don't remember the spell, but like one of these, let's for the sake of argument, pretend this said 2 spider milk and 1 blood moss. And it was supposed to be, you know, the ancient wizards or whatever wrote this down. But if you experiment on your own, maybe there was a clue in game, I can't remember. You could find that the 2 spider silk was redundant, and you only needed 1. So it was like a little secret. I don't know if an Easter egg is the right word, but you could just like figure out, oh, the old wizards were actually a little bit wrong. You only need 1 cigarette to make this work. Cure, I remember this one's pretty important because it cures poison. This one takes garlic and ginseng too. So I wonder if you actually have to specify which spell you want to mix. You can't just say, oh, I'm putting together garlic and ginseng. You would say, I want to make cure, and then you would specify the garlic and ginseng. I don't know. So as you can tell, I don't remember every little detail of the interface. Anyway, I'm not going to scroll through let's flip through it really fast. Every spell. I'm not going to read all the text though. This is dispel. That kind of gets rid of I guess in this case they're getting rid of like a magical field that's between them and an enemy or something like that. Oh no, actually this is probably energy field. The dispel is this picture here. Look at this. They're blocked by like a force field or something, and dispel cleared it out of the way. Energy field is like the opposite. You're making the energy field. There's 4 different kinds: sleep, poison, fire, and lightning. Their effects are varied. This one looks like, well, we just did E, and F comes next. And given this picture, you could probably guess what F is going to be. It's fireball. G is, this must be like gateway or something like that. Gate travel. Yeah, this game's all about gate travel. There's this whole concept of these moon gates that open up in the world. And it's really cool because the phases of the moon are displayed at all times on the map. like at the top of the screen. And the locations where these magical gates open up correspond to the phases of the moon. So if you learn about under which phases a gate will appear and where, you can plan accordingly. And like, well, I'm gonna find the gate that's near this town when the moon is full or whatever. I think there's 2 moons actually. I wonder if one is like the source and one is the destination. I don't quite remember. This one is heal. That one's actually very useful, of course, as you can imagine. This one is an ice ball. It's like a fireball, but icy. I love the artwork in this too. Like every spell, they have a full page piece of art. The feelies, in other words, the manuals and all the things that came with the game were just so fantastic. They even included like a metal ankh. So this the ankh is kind of like the symbol of the avatar in this game, kind of like a Christian cross or something. And the game came with a metal ankh just for the coolness factor. But the coolest thing to me though was the manuals and the cloth map. The Sega Master version came with a paper map. And I have a scan of that I'm going to be referring to, but so it loses some of the coolness factor, but I can imagine it was very expensive to produce that. And Rob is here. Hello, Rob. Rob says, do you remember an older game from the 90s called Wheel of Time? I do not. I haven't played that, but I know Wheel of Time is a fantasy series by was it Robert Jordan or something like that? I've never read. I think I read the first book a long time ago. I barely remember it though. But did you like that game, Rob? I never played it. Jinx is another spell. I guess this is somebody being jinxed. Oh yeah, it makes them fight each other. You make the enemies fight each other by jinxing them. This one is called Kill. I remember this image. It was kind of creepy to me as a kid. You just stop their heart or something like that. Kill. It's a powerful spell. It's an insta kill on. It only affects like one guy though. Come to think of it, I don't think this game has any kind of like explosive. Well, maybe fireballs explosive. I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of details I don't remember. As you can see, this one is light. It's pretty self-explanatory. Magic missile. Look at this one. It was always a thing in the Ultima games that liches or licks, however you say that, there were these floating heads rather than a full bodied wizard who has become undead. Negate. So this was negate. It's blocking the magic of the evil liches. This one is, I think this is open, because we're up to O. And as you can see, it is. And again, each one has the ingredients listed here. Sulfurous ash and blood moss will make you an open spell. This one is, I believe, protect. Protection. This is speed or something. Quickness. I should have known if we had Q and R to go through as well. Next we have Resurrect, which is, obviously you can tell it's a pretty powerful spell. If you die, you might need to resurrect a member of your party. Here you have some orcs or somebody taking a lovely nap. Like, this one looks so content. Look at him. This is nice. This one is like, oh no, what's happening? And that's sleep, obviously. What is T? This must be something like tremor, I think. So this is just cool. I love all the art here. Look at this guy. Oh man, he's not doing well. That is tremor. So we got some ghosts who aren't happy about you, which is undead. This is essentially undead turning. Like, it repels the undead or kills them. V is view or something like that. Yeah. W is wind change. Yeah, so when you're sailing like this fellow is here, you're kind of at the mercy of the wind, and you can actually change the wind with the wind change spell. I remember there's some kind of crucial moments where you really need to do that, so you have to load up on wind change. I think it's even like a hot air balloon you can be in, and there's like it's like kind of, if I remember correctly, close to the end of the game, it's really important to have all these wind change spells to guide your hot air balloon in the right direction. This one is let's take a guess. W X. What could the X be here? Oh, exit. Yeah, that's right. This game uses the word X for exit, but they wrote an E here. This is kind of funny. This is the Y. Wait, where are we up to? W. Okay. X. Up is I guess it's a little bit out of order. Oh no. What do you hit? Y for the up? I don't know. Whatever. I remember there were some weird things in the game, like in order to map things to keys better, they would spell like exit with an X. But I guess for the Sega Master version, they didn't do that because you don't hit things with keyboards. Here we have the up spell. That makes you go up a level. And as you can see here, this is the down spell. You know what they did? In the original game that I played in Combat, it was called Y up and Z down. So they just did away with that for Sega Master because I guess they just thought it was silly. But I kind of wish they kept it because it would make the order consistent and everything. But Z down is just down. And this scan is all bluish purple or something. It looks like one of those carbon... What is it called? Carbon copy? That's weird. All right, so that was the spell book quick. It looks like I went from four viewers back down to one. Let's take a look at the other book, which is really cool too. History of Britannia. And it actually tells you, don't skip reading this. You really want to read this. So I'm going to actually take my time and read it. And it probably isn't going to do wonders for my viewership again, but I think it'll be worth it. As told by Kyle the Younger. So again, it's trying to, get you into the theme of the game, the setting of the game, by imagining this person named Kyle the Younger, who apparently knows his history despite being young, is telling you the stories. Chapter 1, Political History. The Dark Age of Britannia is the name given to the long span of time when the infamous Triad of Evil stalked the lands and challenged, excuse me, all for the supremacy of the soul. The first era of the Dark Ages came to an end with the downfall of the evil wizard Mondane and his many minions as chronicled in Ultima 1. Yeah, I played through Ultimas 1, 2, and 4, and for some reason I never finished 3. I think I played it after 4, and I just never wound up finishing it. Yeah, the evil wizard Mondane is the baddie in Ultima 1. The lords of the lands were weak and scattered, rendered ineffective by factional wars. It was only through the valiant efforts of an itinerant adventurer, that's me, that the foul Mondane was tracked to his hidden lair and slain. In that game, you gotta go into space and travel through time and stuff. It's crazy. You have to become a space ace. You have to prove yourself to someone. It might have been Lord British, who's the king throughout all these games. And he's like, you got to go into space now and prove yourself a space ace by defeating these alien spaceships in combat. It's like, wait, what? I thought this was like a fantasy sword and sorcery game. That's one of the crazy things about Ultima, is it's just very creatively designed. But a few years of restless peace followed Mondane's downfall. So long had the world shuddered beneath Mondane's yoke that many found it hard to believe that he had been really vanquished. In truth, his teachings did not disappear. Mondane's apprentice, you kill her in Ultima 2, Minax, rose to power soon thereafter to challenge the fledgling city-states that were beginning to evolve. The terrors had begun anew. Minax's powers upon maturity greatly exceeded those of her evil mentor. With these powers, she was able to rain wholesale destruction upon the planet, twisting and corrupting everything. Her foul web spread through time itself. I think there was a ton of time travel in Ultima 2, now that I think about it. I think in Ultima 1 it was just you had to travel back in time to kill Mondane at the end, maybe? Anyway, ensnaring all who sought to oppose her. Finally, there arose a hero out of legend who dared face Minax in her own fiery castle and destroy her. Thus ended the second era of darkness, as told in Ultima 2. 20 years of well-earned tranquility ensued, and prosperity favored the land. Then disturbing omens appeared, followed by the mysterious appearance of a fiery island. The tale of the third era of the Dark Ages is told by Iolo the Bard in Ultima 3, wherein Lord British, sovereign of an incipient empire in the land of Sosaria, called forth through time and space for heroes of the people to assemble. 4 diverse adventurers answered this clarion call. Yeah, so Ultima 3 was the first one in which you had a party of characters instead of one single character. You had 4 characters in Ultima 3. In this one, Ultima 4, you get 8 characters, but you start out with only yourself, 1, and you find the others along the way. Hey, Dan DeMan, how's it going? Dan DeMan says, nice, my all-time favorite game for the C64. Cool. This was one of my favorites of all time, too. So many countless fun hours as a kid with this series. Always pushed the newly developing CRPG genre forward with every version. And Dan DeMan said, I only play Ultima 5 on the C64, though. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be able to put in all the time to complete this, but we'll see. I'm just going to play this for, a couple hours tonight. And we'll see how it goes. Maybe what I might do is play some of it offline and probably follow a walkthrough to some degree, just because I remember how often you do have to you don't know what to do, and you're kind of like, well, maybe I got to talk to everybody in the town now, or just kind of walk around the wilderness, or, things like that. So it's possible I might kind of cheat, if you call it cheating, just to actually be able to get the game completed. But I did beat this back in the day. Actually, a little bit of a funny story of back in the day. There was let's tell the story. My brother might be watching. My older brother, he's 6 years older than me, and we got this one, I believe, when it was new in, I think, 85. I was pretty young. There's a lot of pretty, deep puzzles and things to keep track of, notes to keep track of, and my brother kind of led the way with it, and he played with his friend, the neighborhood friend. His name was Joey, closer to my brother's age, and so Joey named the character Awesome J. Because he was calling himself Awesome, I guess. And I was kind of lagging behind, and so I got a lot of help from the trail that they blazed. Like, oh, I know how to solve this puzzle because they already did this. And but I discovered some things on my own though as well. Anyway, long story short, we had been playing this game for probably months. And when I was saving my game, I accidentally put in the save disk for Awesome J and wiped my brother's and his friends' gameplay for the longest time. And they were kind of not too happy, and I apologized profusely or whatever. And then they didn't start over again because of that. So I finished the game on my own. I remember doing a ton of grinding to level up, and I finished it. And my brother always kind of was like, "Yeah, we figured out all the hard stuff for you, and then you went ahead and finished it." So that was his point of view on it. But I do think I beat the game fair and square, despite a lot of it being trailblazed for me by my brother and his friend. But anyway, yeah, these days, I might look up some guys just because I don't know how many hours I put into the game. It was a lot. I also thought grinding was fun because I felt like I was accomplishing something by fighting monsters endlessly to max out my levels and everything, which I'm probably not going to do today. But we'll see how many hours it takes. Anyway, let's keep reading. 4 diverse adventurers answered this clarion call. To them fell the geese, the geese of the doom of Exodus. Long they labored on the trail of the mysterious Exodus, through many a deep dungeon which seared their souls. To this day, each member of that team bears the marks of their journey. With the aid of the mystical Time Lord, they were successful in bypassing the great Earth Serpent and gaining access to Exodus's island fortress. Spoiler: Exodus was a computer. The very bricks of the fortress rose up against them, and great is the bard's tale. No relation to the game, the bard's tale, of their struggle to reach their mortal foe. Of the final confrontation, not one of them will speak. Safe to say that evil is gone from this plane. That's kind of funny. It's like they're so traumatized they don't want to talk about it. I guess they didn't want to say that spoiler that I just mentioned. So passed the third member of the triad of evil, and with his death, so passed the dark ages of Britannia. From the rubble of Sosaria, Lord British was able to unite the mainland and a few of the islands under his one rule. This new empire of Britannia brought much sought-after peace and prosperity to its subjects. Many of the ancient pockets of evil were destroyed, so that the only remaining hazards to wayfarers was the occasional stray band of marauding orcs or hill giants. Most of the lands were mapped, although a few unexplored regions still remain. With the triad of evil destroyed, Lord British became known for his dedication to raising the quality of life of his subjects. To assist in this endeavor, 3 mighty structures were raised in distant parts of the realm. One was the Lyceum, wherein lay the great observatory. Another was the Empeth Abbey, with its oak groves, where wise men and women meditated upon the teachings of the ancients. The third structure was the great castle of the Knights Order of the Silver Serpent, only the flower of Lord British's cavalry was invited to join this order, which embodied the highest ideals and exemplary bravery. The rest of the land was divided among 8 major towns, each with its own political faction. Numerous satellite villages also dotted the countryside between the towns. In this manner were Lord British's lands organized. Yeah, so for those who just joined, I am taking my time with Ultima IV. It's a game that deserves your time, well, at least as far as getting through the manuals and stuff. It's, you know, it's good to immerse yourself in it. It's a lot of good information here, as well as theme and setting. So, you know, it's going to actually take some time before I get through all this, before I actually start playing, that is. Chapter 2, Geography. The final destruction of Exodus rocked the known world. Mountains rose, land masses sank. Most of the surface area of the world became fused together into one large mass. It is over this major continent, now called Britannia, that Lord British rules. Some nearby islands also pay homage to him, while beyond these islands lurk uncharted shoals and rumored pockets of evil. Lord British's magnificent castle is situated in the center of the continent, overlooking Britannia Bay. This tall building is the greatest architectural structure of the new age. Loyal subjects may pay homage to his majesty and renew fealty whenever they are in the vicinity of his castle. You can also get healed anytime you want by going to him, but they only talk about renewing your fealty, which means kissing his butt, I guess. No, pledging your allegiance, I guess. Nearby lies the art center of Britannia, the town of Britain, where bards weave tales of legendary deeds and serenade visitors. To the north of this castle of Lord British lies the great mountain. I actually should be taking a couple of notes here, probably. But there is a map. I think it would note these basics, like Lord British. Lord British is in the castle, and nearby is Britannia, the town of Britain. To the north of the castle is the great mountain range known as the Serpent's Spine. The peaks of this range are the highest in all of Britannia. During the summer months, a small out-of-the-way pass allows knowledgeable travelers to save much time on their journey. Beware of the one-eyed Cyclops and fierce two-headed Ettins that inhabit this range. Northwest from the mountains, the scan is a little off, so it's going to highlight strangely. Northwest from the mountains begin the vast woods known as the Deep Forest. Many a traveler has become lost among these tall, majestic trees. If thy feet stray from the beaten path, do not despair, for within the woods lies the beautiful city of Yu, home of the mystic druids. The High Court of Yu judges all the important cases in Britannia and is famed far and wide for the wisdom of the decisions rendered here. Nearby is the spiritual center of Britannia, the famous Empeth Abbey. Within these hallowed walls, wise men and women study the ancient writings of past masters and meditate upon the great principles that govern the universe. A good meditation focusing on a proper mantra. You have to learn these mantras that you chant when you meditate throughout the game. Will sometimes yield valuable visions to those whose patience and powers of concentration are strong. The experience is well worth sampling. East of the deep forest lies the high steppes of Britannia. Excuse me, still got a little bit of that cough from last week. So the high steppes of Britannia, famous for beautiful horses. The only difficulties a traveler might encounter here are bands of thieving rogues and unfriendly wizards. The high steppes border an interior lake fabled for mysterious disturbances. Beyond the high steppes lies the famous battlefield known as the Bloody Plains, where the last major forces of evil were vanquished. Alas, many of our brave men perished here in the fight for virtue. Be very careful when thou passeth through this region. It is whispered that at some phases of the moon the undead rise and fight the battle again. Lost Hope Bay lies to the north of here. That seems very hopeful, with the sturdy town of Minok perched on its shore. Minok is home to some of the finest craftsmen in the realm. The tinkers of Minok are known far and wide for their skill. The tired traveler will also find a refreshing place to rest at the Wayfarer's Inn. The northeastern tip of Britannia is rather wild. The treacherous marshes. Oh, the marshes are terrible in this game. Every step you take through them, you have a chance of becoming poisoned. When you're poisoned, every step you take damage. So you need a lot of cure spells when you're going through the marshes. With their noxious vapors that poison the unwary explorers, they are home to swarms of large insects and all manner of vile beasts. South of the Lord British's castle can be found a large plain, mountains, and a dense forest. On the southern edge of the continent is the magnificent town of Trinsic, from whence come Lord British's finest paladins. The tap in town has some of the best brew around, and the bartender is a great source of current gossip. Be sure to tip him well. The claws of the southern tip of Britannia embrace the Cape of Heroes. Slightly to the west lie the Valerian Isles. The walled town of Gelome provides Lord British with the best fighters, and also has the largest inn of the realm, where the service is outstanding. The headquarters for the Order of the Silver Serpent is on an island south of the Cape of Heroes. This wooded fortress was given to the members of the Order by Lord British in recognition for their outstanding service. A visit to Serpent Castle will instill within the traveler a true feeling for the ways of chivalry. Off the western shore of Britannia is the island home of the Doughty Rangers. Skara Brae is a beautiful city and spaciously laid out. For those suffering from rare diseases or grievous wounds, a mystical healer resides within those walls. The healer will aid the destitute as readily as the wealthy, expecting no payment save for what the sufferer can afford. And I think that, if I remember correctly, that might be one of the test of your virtues in this game. I forget which one that is. It might be, I don't know, something like compassion, that you can choose how much you pay for something, and it might be sacrifice. I don't know. And if you are generous, it improves the appropriate virtue. I remember you're trying to kind of max out 8 different virtues. You have to become the avatar that way. By the way, part of the inspiration for this game, Lord British said, Lord British is Richard Garriott. That's kind of his alter ego, or his nickname, I guess you could say. He said that one of the reasons he made this game, he designed it in this manner where you're trying to be virtuous, is that he found that, in his first 3 Ultima games, sometimes it was simply the best option to go around like, well, I'm going to level up experience or get gold, so I'm going to just walk into the city and murder all the guards. And so, the guards are pretty tough. But if you're tougher than them, you can just do that. And he kind of didn't like that people were just, being evil essentially. So he made this game like, well, your goal is actually to be virtuous in all these different ways. And if you attack innocent people, you're gonna suffer in whichever virtue that represents. I can't remember at this time. In fact, this game actually gets pretty detailed. I think there's like if you are fighting enemies and the enemies flee, if you chase them and kill them, I think you lose. Maybe that one's compassion or something like, or maybe it's valor. No, valor is if you run away. So if you want to run away from a battle because you're gonna die, you will lose valor, the virtue of valor points. So the game really kind of makes you behave in a certain way that isn't always the best from like a selfish or self-preservation point of view. And I think there's another one. If you attack animals before they attack you, you lose some virtue. There's some creatures in this game are kind of deemed evil, inherently evil, like orcs. I guess most of the monsters are, but animals are the exception. Like if you find a poisonous python or something like that, you just can't go picking on it for no reason. You have to let it attack you or something like that. It's a lot of little details like that, if I recall correctly. It's quite possible that me and my brother and whoever else played this game back in the day in my household might have made some of it up. We might have suspected some of it. Like, well, we think that if you attack this animal, it'll do such and such. So, some of that's kind of what I like to some degree when the game doesn't like tell you every detail of what's going on under the hood. You kind of have to figure it out. And to some degree, you might make things up. But also at the same time, you can tell, because if you have a maxed out virtue and you do all the rituals or whatever, you'll have a little piece of the Ankh. For example, if you have, I don't know, honor, you might have like, let's say it's a stem of the Ankh, just to make something up. But then if you do something to lose that a little bit of honor, it'll say, thou hast lost an eighth, meaning you lost an eighth of the Ankh. You lost one of the 8 virtues, and the Ankh will disappear, something like that. Piece of the Ankh will disappear. So to some degree, you can tell when you screw up. because it'll say thou hast lost an eighth. But generally, I don't think you can tell, like before you've acquired that Ankh piece. Anyway, let's keep moving forward because there's a lot to go through. In the northeastern part of Britannia lies Verity Isle, famed as the home of the Lyceum. This pillar of higher learning constitutes the center for the sharpening of the finest minds in Britannia. The Lyceum's observatory provides Lord British with valuable information about the course of the heavens and provides a vantage point to watch the happenings within his realm. On the southern end of Verity is situated the fabled town of Moonglow. The Magi of Moonglow are constantly improving their skills, being tireless in the pursuit of greater knowledge of the mystic arts. Within Moonglow, however, can be obtained the finest of mystical reagents. These herbs will help those with magical skill prepare and cast their spells. This then is the known realm of Britannia. So, yeah, I might have to refer to this sometime, but there's also a map. I think these known realms would be, the known areas of the realm would be on the map. So I probably don't have to like read all this text necessarily. And Dandaman chimed in the chat. He said, I still have my original cloth map of Britannia. Cool. It's probably still in my parents' house somewhere, though. I believe it's my brother's, so I don't know if I'll be able to claim that one day, but maybe. But I kind of looked on eBay because I'm curious. I think the components are so cool. This game goes for a pretty penny if you want it with all the components. I looked for the master version, Sega Master, as well as like Commodore and others. Yeah, if you want everything intact, you could easily pay like $100 or so. But anyway, Dandaman says I still have my original cloth map of Britannia and plan to hang it in my home office. Wow, as a nostalgic tapestry with some of my other C64 RPG box art displayed as well. That's pretty cool. That could be fun. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty to look at. I mean, if it's gonna sit in a box all the time, you know, I think your idea, Dan, is a good one. At least you can show it off and look at it. All right, let's keep going. This then is the known realm of Britannia. Several small villages also dot the landscape, but all are not recorded in the charts of the realm. Some other islands of varying significance hug the shoreline, most of which are uninhabited and barren. The only islands the traveler should be cautious about when exploring are known as the Fens of the Dead. Disembodied wisps, ghosts, long dead licks, and savage Zorns have been reported there. Zorns are a monster from D&D that it actually starts with an X, but I guess to avoid using their names, they change it to a Z. And they're kind of these I don't know the full background in D&D of Zorns, but they're kind of these creatures that can phase through walls because they're semi of another plane or something like, I don't know, something like that. So that's their danger. They can kind of walk through the walls. Existing maps are by no means complete. There are said to be other unexplored isles, wherein all manner of monsters and evil beings reside. Flame-breathing dragons, multi-headed hydras, horned devils, fiery lava lizards, and even dreaded Balrons. There you go, another kind of one-letter modification. Obviously, that's based on the J.R.R. Tolkien creation Balrogs, but they named them Balrons in this. I think even the original Ultima had Balrons, if I remember correctly. Anyway, even the dreaded Balrons are rumored to roam the distant shores. Somewhere out beyond civilization is also reputed to lie the ruins of the legendary town of Magincia. I remember finding Magincia, which the gods destroyed for the insufferable pride of those that dwelt there. All of the magnificent marble palaces and gardens were devastated, and the rich, haughty inhabitants reduced to haunting spirits. No one has ever confirmed this legend. Of course it's true. They wouldn't mention it otherwise. Though it may just be a fable to frighten the weak of heart and instill humility in those that overvalue their own worth. Sea travel along the coast of the main continent is reasonably safe, although a bold band of pirates has been raiding Britannia of late, terrorizing the populace. Beware, for the pirates take no prisoners. Farther out to the sea roam many mythical creatures. The unwary voyager will likely encounter giant squids, nixies. I guess that's like pixies, but they don't really there's no like copyright or trademark issue there. I think They just wanted to call them Nixies, or I don't know. Poisonous serpents and the mystical seahorses. The ever-present danger of whirlpools and waterspouts makes seafaring a hazardous experience at best. It is hoped that with the next edition of the History of Britannia, travelers will have brought back more information of these unexplored regions, so that the map may be completely filled in. As a final caution for the would-be traveler, beware of the many dungeons and their dark subterranean passages. Chapter 3, Fellowship. Under Lord British's rule, each of the 8 towns has developed into a cultural center for one of the 8 major professions. So, yeah, so each town represents one profession as well as one virtue. In this manner, an orderly society has evolved with little friction between the diverse inhabitants. No one is restricted to their town of birth, and one frequently finds people of various professions visiting a particular town. These are the 8 major professions, and of course your character is going to be one of these. Mage. The Magi of Britannia gather in Moonglow near the Lyceum, where they can study the ancient mystical scrolls of the library. The strictures of their profession permit Magi to wear only cloth armor, which is the weakest armor in the game if I recall correctly, and carry either a staff, dagger, or sling. Yeah, so they have weak weapon and armor. Unconfirmed rumors indicate that the highest adepts have acquired the use of arcane magical weapons. So yeah, you can get some fancy stuff later. The primary weapon of the mage, of course, is magic. As the mage becomes more advanced, more powerful spells can be woven. Some of the greatest spells have been known to literally shake the earth or raise the dead. Let's take a look at Mr. Mage here. Hello, Mr. Mage. Not super high res, so there's no point in zooming in too much. But here he is. And next to him, we have the Bard and the Fighter. Kind of like it's a little bit more zoomed in. Let's go with that. Bard. The bards of Britain entertain the people with their wonderful ballads and tales of heroic deeds. Bards not only chronicle the deeds of valor, but perform them as well. The weapon of choice for a bard is the sling, but they may use a crossbow at times. All armor save that of leather is shunned by these minstrels, for they find metal harsh and too noisy for their sensitive ears. What about cloth, then? The bard also dabbles in magic and can make a fine companion on a long journey. Fighter. From the town of Gelome hail the mighty fighters. They pass their lives in training and have the use of all weapons and armor, though most prefer the use of the double-edged Britannian sword, a devastating weapon in the hands of a skilled fencer. Fighters have little or no magical talents, for they believe only in the use of arms and fear that magical training saps the will and the concentration of a true warrior. You could have just said it was like their focus. They focused on one thing and not the other, or they don't have the brain for it or whatever. But it's actually their explanation is that they believe that using magic will sap their will and concentration of a true warrior. That's kind of funny. They possess a particular affinity for horses and are most useful companions on travels to uncharted regions. Druids. The druids are fierce fighters. Not as much as the fighters, I guess. Especially when defending their beloved groves. They hold all trees to be sacred, and their town of View lies deep in the woods. Druids are also impressive practitioners of the mystic arts, and their knowledge of herbs is without peer. They may fight with different types of bows, although the preferred weapon is the mace. The druidic philosophy forbids wearing metal of any kind, so leather is their armor of choice. The druids' knowledge of the ways of the woodlands make them invaluable as fellow travelers. Tinkers, which are up here. You don't usually see tinkers in an RPG. And the interesting thing is they don't... You would think, hey, maybe there's a cool character class that can make weapons and armor on the fly or something. I don't think they can. But let me read the description. The Tinkers of Minok are both highly skilled artisans and superb fighters. They are generally suspicious of magic, believing that only handcrafted artifacts possess true value, and thus use it seldomly. A tinker may use any weapon, however the double-bladed war axe is preferred. That sounds good. Tinkers will use any non-magical armor. A traveling party with a tinker aboard need never fear for repair or any metal or wooden items. Okay, maybe they can repair stuff. I forgot about that. That was even a thing you needed to worry about in this game. Paladin. These great fighters live in the town of Trinzic in the southern part of Britannia. They are expert in all forms of combat and weapon use, and are one of the few professions that will make use of the magical chain armor when it is available. Their deep belief in the value of good lends strength to their magic, which they wield with a certain flair. Paladins are thus very formidable opponents and highly valued allies. Ranger. Off the western shore of the mainland lies the fair island of the Rangers. Venturing far from their retreat at Skara Brae, they strive to improve the conditions of people throughout the realm. Rangers are well versed in woods lore and fight fiercely with most weapons, but shun all but leather armor. They are also proficient magic users and faultless trackers in any wilderness. Shepherd. It is uncertain whether shepherds are skilled in any form of warfare or in the mystical art. However, they are highly valued traveling companions for their humility and their knowledge of the ways of the land. A traveler in Britannia need not journey alone. In each town one may, indeed one ought to, converse with all the inhabitants. If thy personal philosophy of life is close to that of the town, then thou may ask one of the residents to join thy party. If amenable to your invitation, this person will travel with thee, aid thee, and fight with thee. He or she will stay loyal to thee only as long as thou stay true to thy beliefs. If at any time, through actions or deeds, thou stray from the path, then thy companions will desert thee to thy fate. Does that actually happen? I don't remember that. Like if you start, I remember I talked about, if you mess up a virtue, you could lose your eighth of the Ankh. Apparently this is suggesting that your companions could leave you too. I don't remember that. It could be that they never really implemented that, or maybe the Sega Master version actually implemented that and the other versions don't. So I don't know. It could be I'm just remembering wrong. Yeah, remember these are free companions, not servants or mercenaries. Such is their faith in thee as their leader, that all golden supplies held by the party is given into thy care for the good of all. Use this trust wisely. And here's the Ankh, which again they had a physical Ankh shaped kind of like this. I mean, it's the same basic shape at least. I don't think it had such kind of sharp edges though. But yeah, it came with the game. It was a physical metal thing, pretty heavy. It just added to the coolness factor when you open the box. Ooh. All right, chapter 4. I know again we are spending a ton of time on the manual. I know that probably most viewers would rather jump into a game, but I think it's worth it for this game. It's a great setting, really awesomely written books, and you kind of need some of the information that you're going to read here. And I'm super rusty. I haven't played the game in ages. Except I did it on one stream actually just to start the game. I was doing a random, I think it was a Commodore stream, and I just started the game. I was like, let's just jump into this game and do the introductory thing where you choose your profession, and then I just kind of quit the game. But now I'm actually delving into it. Anyway, Dan Demand says the first few versions of Ultima had tons of copyright infringement with slight renaming at times. My favorite ripoff was the Bobbit class. Oh yeah, instead of the Hobbit in Ultima 3. In a sense though, I played a lot of tabletop role-playing games, and a lot of them borrowed Hobbit, or sometimes they would just call them halflings. One of my favorite role-playing games was always Tunnels and Trolls, and they had Hobbit. They just shamelessly had Hobbit. But the interesting thing is in the most recent edition of Tunnels and Trolls, which is from something like 2015, so not that old, they finally did change those. It might have been in a previous version even, but the one I had in the 80s did not change it. However, in the current version of TNT, they have hobs. They're even afraid to use words like orcs. They call them uruks. But yeah, at some point they decided to change it. They didn't. In the 80s, they shamelessly used Hobbit and whatever, orcs and stuff. I think to some degree it was like they decided, let's just not even take a chance, because I don't think anybody's gonna fault you on orcs, because every game has orcs, even D&D. Anyway, but yeah, that was kind of funny. Ultima 3 had bobbits. The extra humor there is that that came out before the whole John Wayne Bobbitt thing, which was from like, I don't know, 1990 or so. Let's look that up. Why am I looking this up? John and Lorena Bobbitt. Yeah, there was a big thing with them in 1993. If you don't know that story, you can look it up. I'm not going to tell that story now. Anyway, Mercantile is the chapter 4 title. But Well, yeah, my point there was it's kind of funny, it was extra humor if you play the game later after that whole Lorena Bobbitt affair. So I'm going to be a Bobbit. Oh, what are they good at? Well, chop, chop. Anyway, there's a thriving merchant class in Britannia. Each town and village has its own shops that specialize in local wares and services. A seasoned traveler will discover many delightful and useful items to purchase, as well as a variety of places to eat and sleep. The monetary system of Britannia is based on Lord British's heraldic charge. It is a gold coin with a silver serpent cast vermeil upon the gold. The process is so difficult that the coin has never been successfully counterfeited or debased in value. This coin has been the foundation of the realm's stability and is universally accepted by merchants. Coins of the realm are also to be found in chests that appear from time to time and are found below the surface in the dank dungeons. Beware, as most chests have diabolical traps in place to confound thieves. Here's a partial list of some of the more popular shops and their wares. Weapons shop. Here one may purchase the finest in weaponry that the blacksmiths can forge. Depending on the skills of the local artisans, the shop may offer the following range of weapons. What I kind of like in this game is it doesn't really have an enormous selection of weapons and armor and stuff. It kind of keeps it varied, but not like you have to worry about, well, I got a one-handed light axe or a +3, finely crafted double-bladed broadaxe that have 3 enchantments on. It keeps it kind of basic. And the sword is not like a short sword and a long sword and a two-handed sword and a bastard sword and a cutlass and a scimitar and a rapier. You get the idea. The weapon shop. Anyway, let's go over these real quick. Staff, dagger, sling, mace, axe, sword, bow, crossbow, flaming oil, and halberd. Flaming oil is kind of fun. It leaves a field of fire where it explodes. The weapon shop, and there was also some magic stuff outside this list you can encounter later. Spoiler alert, there's a magic wand that's a very good weapon, and the aforementioned mage class can actually use that. If you remember, it said the mages can barely use any weapons or armor, but they can use a very powerful magic wand, if I recall correctly. I seem to remember eventually having all 8 of my characters armed with magic wands. It was that good. The weapon shop offers liberal trade-ins on used equipment, although if thy axe is greatly notched from battle, do not expect much for it. Armory. Fine armor may be purchased in the armories of Britannia. 'Tis just the item to keep highwaymen from slipping a dirk into thy ribs. A dirk is a dagger. The local armory may offer any of the following selection. Here you have really basic stuff. You got cloth, leather, chain, and plate. The armories will likely offer, and it doesn't get into having to worry about, well, do I have a helmet and a shield and leg, greaves and gauntlets and all that stuff. It doesn't worry about location. It's pretty simple. The armories will likewise offer trade-ins on used armor, although most would not consider them liberal. That's kind of funny. It's the weapons they say you can get a good buyback for, but not the armor. I forgot about that detail. I'm not sure why they decided that. But the rationale is by the time most fighters get around to seeking improved armor, the old armor is almost completely falling apart, and its principal value is as scrap for the foundries. Pub. The subjects of Lord British truly prize their pubs, and it shows in the gracious hospitality to be found in all public houses. Most offer an excellent array of drinks and food for the wayfarer. It is also commonly known that the bartenders are incurable gossips. If asked the right question and offered the right price, rare news may be obtained. Public drunkenness is prohibited throughout the lands of Britannia, so temper thy indulgence with wisdom. Grocery. Little is worse than being far from a town and finding thyself and one companion starving to death, because the person in charge of the expedition, thou, hast forgotten to buy enough food. Be sure to lay in a plentiful supply at each opportunity. You really have to worry about food in this game, as well as the other Ultimas that I've played. Even the Ultima 0, also known as Akalabeth, is it's really brutal with the food. Excuse me. Thy fellow travelers will most certainly be appreciative of thy foresight to the healer. Some towns contain these invaluable places of aid, where one may go to be healed when suffering from grievous wounds. Remember to heal thy companions also, for a healthy party ensures survival in the wild regions. The healers are the only ones who may cure victims of the noxious venoms inflicted by the inhuman denizens of the land. So, yeah, so poison, you have to go to a healer to get cured of poison unless you have a cure spell, which they don't mention here. The numerous inns of Britannia provide the tired traveler with a comfortable night's sleep, which refreshes and revitalizes each character. The character of the inns throughout Britannia varies, as does the price. Herb shop. All practitioners of the mystic arts will search far and wide to locate these rare shops. Within them is to be found the components or reagents, as they are known to enchanters, for spell mixtures. Without these mixtures, no spell may be cast successfully. Due to the rareness of some of the herbs, many are not offered for sale regularly, if at all. The known magical reagents are, we kind of went over these before, sulfurous ash, ginseng, garlic, spider silk, blood moss, black pearl, nightshade, and mandrake root. I think the last two you cannot buy in stores, if I recall correctly. Care should be taken to mix the herbs in the correct proportions so as not to waste valuable ingredients. Oh yeah, that's right. If you mix something, you mess it up, you toss out the batch, you screwed it up. You just lose the ingredients. Guild shop. The Thieves Guild has been essentially driven out of Britannia, but rumors persist of its existence somewhere in the ocean, perhaps on one of the uncharted islands. Somehow the guild maintains contact with the mainland, perhaps through the brazen pirates. The goods once offered by the guild were quite expensive, but invaluable to the traveler who sought to stray off the beaten path in search of novel experiences. These are the main shops in Britannia. A few other places exist that are worthy of note. Shrines. Here the devout of each town may meditate upon their path in life. Each shrine responds to the meditation of a different mantra, chant. Consistency and concentration are the keys to meditation. Enlightenment is attained only through care. The Seer, Hawkwind. And that's a funny name. That is the name of in the Elric saga. Hawkwind is one of the buddies he encounters, as well as there was a band named Hawkwind named after that character. And that band featured Lemmy from Motorhead. I think it's generally deemed like space rock or something like that. It's not like heavy metal like Motorhead per se. Anyway, residing within Lord British's castle is the Royal Seer Hawkwind. Many aspire to tread the path, but very few find their way. Seek the advice of the seer as to thy progress upon the path. He can look into thy heart's heart and read thy progress or failure. Heed his advice, for feet that have strayed may be brought back upon the path. Okay, so I'm trying to think of game mechanically what you actually do with him. I don't remember. I guess you just get advice. I think this stuff, like look into your heart, I think it has to do with like what you need to do as far as, working on your virtues. Chapter 5, Transportation. Throughout the centuries, most travel has been accomplished by use of feet. While this method lends itself to scenic hikes, it's a terribly slow way to journey from one end of a huge continent to the other. Getting around Britannia, which it may never be without risk, could soon become easier. Under the auspices of Lord British, studies of the properties of the moon gates are beginning to yield a clear understanding of the gate's mystical workings. These are the things that I talked about that depend on the phase of the moon. Thank you for the likes, by the way, people. Reading a manual can get you some likes. How about that? People forecast that future citizens will use these gates as a normal means of distant travel. That's kind of funny. It's like, it's not just some obscure, arcane, mystical arts. Like, they're saying that, it's going to be a normal everyday thing. People just are like, oh, let's just wait over, a mile east of, I don't know, Britannia or the town of Britain. And, when that moon is full, that gate will appear. It'll take you across the continent. Just like you're taking a train or something. Anyway, the destinations of the gates appear to be rigidly bound to the phases of the twin moons, Trammel and I want to say that like Feluca, I guess. The appearance and disappearance of the gates are definitely so linked. The location of the gates are represented on most maps of the realm as phases of the moon. The gate active is indicated by the phase of the moon trammel. Okay, yeah, so it's the source and destination. Trammel is the source, and once a gate is entered, thy destination is indicated by the phase of the moon Feluca. So you need the two moons to be in the right phase. I always thought that was a super cool mechanic. Britannia is marked by 6 terrain types, each with their own features. Grass, the smoothest and easiest to travel on, the lush grass of Britannia, serves to fatten its herds. One may pass here without any impediment. Brush, low scrub growth and brushes will hinder thy progress, permitting thy party to move but at 3/4 of thy normal speed. Fine tinder for campfires may be found at the base of the larger shrubs. Forest. The going is slow through dense woods, with thy speed cut fully in half. The oak so dearly loved by the druids predominates here, along with healthy growths of ash and beech. There is quite a lack of visibility in the forest regions. Hills. Hilly terrain, much favored by those who raise sheep, will slow thee down considerably, so much that none but the sure-footed mountain goat can move at more than a snail's pace. And I can't get a mountain goat in my party, unfortunately. Marshes are a pain. The marshes and fens are particularly treacherous and should be avoided at all costs, while progress is only slowed to half one's normal pace by the muck underfoot. That's bad enough, though. But the marshes give off poisonous gases. That's the worst part. Give off poisonous gases, which can severely harm members of the party. Basically, you don't want to go through a lot of marshes unless you know you can cure the poison, either by having cure spells on hand or being able to go to a healer shortly thereafter. I guess if you're desperate, you can charge through it if some horrible monster chasing you. I don't know. Mountains. Mountaineering is not a well-known skill in Britannia, so the mountains are closed to the normal traveler. There's also a lack of visibility over the mountains. Horses may be obtained and greatly speed travel on land. The sages of the Lyceum are reputed to have been working on a lighter-than-air device for Lord British, but it was stolen some months ago and its whereabouts is unknown. Not known. Since while traveling, thy party members' hit points may be diminished by unexpected confrontations, every so often thou should hole up for the night and camp. So this is capital because in the original game you would press the H key to hole up and camp. If thy rest is not interrupted by wandering creatures, which it can be, then thy party will be greatly refreshed. Here's holing up and camping, sleeping on some lovely rocks. They make great pillows, I guess. At sea, masterful control of thy ship is necessary for survival. Ships have powerful cannons, but they can only fire broadside. To learn seamanship, thou must understand the ways of the water and the wind. The ocean is made up of 3 types of water. Large waves mark deep water. Small waves indicate shallow water. Tight ripples show where lie shoals too shallow for ships to pass over. Remember that a change in wave size signals approaching land. This will aid thy navigation. The winds of Britannia blow very constant in a given direction, then shift to a new direction for another long period. This fact allows the skipper of a ship to sail strategically. Pardon me. If the ship is facing into the direction of the wind, such as sailing east against an east wind, and the ship's progress is at its slowest, 1/4 speed. So if you're sailing east, east wind means it's coming from the east, I guess, rather than blowing in the same direction. If the ship is sailing with the wind, as in sailing west with an east wind behind thee, then the ship's speed is faster, 3/4 speed. It's only when one tacks across the wind that the ship reaches its maximum speed, such as sailing north or south against an east wind full speed. Strive to maneuver thy ship so as to bring either the port or the starboard batteries to bear before creatures or pirates can close and try to board. Thy ship has armor which, if reduced to 0, will cause it to sink, and thy party will perish. A captured pirate ship can be used in place of a badly damaged ship. Practice near shore until thou develop seafaring legs. The ship's cannons can also serve for firing upon land-bound creatures. Beware, some of the land creatures have the power of flight and can pursue thee over the waves. Chapter 6, 6 Weapon and Armor of the Realm. Weaponry. Hands. If thou lose all thy weapons, this is what thou hast left. Although it is possible to kill some of the lesser monsters with thy bare hands, the odds of success truly are not very high. Staff. A 6-foot piece of carved ironwood that has been magically attuned. The staff sold in the weapons shop of Britain is more formidable than it seems. It is a favorite weapon of Magi. Dagger. 10 inches of beautifully worked steel make the standard Britannian dagger. The traditional basket hilt looks very functional. A favorite weapon of novices. Sling. A common sling is fashioned from 24 inches of cloth, folded in half with a leather cup. Projectiles, small rocks, are easily collected, making this an inexpensive missile weapon, a perennial favorite with travelers down on their luck. Mace. Upon the 1.5-inch thick oaken stem of the Britannian mace rests a globe of iron studded with knobs. The impact of this weapon has been known to shatter the skulls of enemies outright, a favorite among the druids. Axe. With a double-sided 2-foot blade, a warrior wielding a battle axe can really wage war. The axe is a favorite among tinkers, as many of them are workers of wood and metal. Sword. Ah, true fighter's weapon. 4 feet of wicked blue steel will strike fear into the heart of any opponent. The sword is an automatic favorite among fighters. Bow. Pardon me. Cough again. Truly competent long-range weapon. Get thy enemies before they can get to thee. The Britannian bows are made from the finest yew wood. Maybe they're from the town of Yew where the druids live. Each longbow is hand-rubbed and ornamented with horn knocks on the tips. A favorite among those with poor armor. Why is it a favorite among those with poor armor? Crossbow. Now here's the real missile weapon. Oh yeah. The impact of the crossbow will stop a rampaging troll. The crossbow is traditionally made of mahogany with carved maple veneer on the sides depicting Lord British's device, the Silver Serpent. A favorite among bards for the singing of the crossbow's string. Flame oil. The use of flasks of flame oil constitutes an innovation in Britannia. Any of the 8 great professions can use it. The wielder casts the ignited oil in a chosen direction, creating a corridor of flaming oil which lasts several minutes. Any enemy entering the field of flaming oil suffers burn damage for each turn passed in the inferno. A favorite weapon among those badly hurt and in need of rescue, a last-ditch defense. Halberd. 7 feet of stout wood, topped with a blade of deadly steel. The halberd requires excellent coordination to be used effectively. It's the most deadly weapon in the hands of an expert, who use it to strike over the heads of his fellows. A favorite among paladins. So I think the way that works is you can attack 2 spaces away with a halberd, and it doesn't hit the guy immediately next to you. Something like that. So you hit over the head of your companion. Though unfortunately that may mean that if you're here and you have 2 enemies here and here, you might only be able to hit the one that's 2 spaces away. I don't really quite remember, but I think that's how it works. Several magical weapons are said to be found hither and yon, but the location of these are not known for certain. It is said that perchance a traveler must be worthy of such a weapon before it will become available. And now onto the armor. Skin. What thou art left wearing when thou hast no armor at all. Cloth. Peasant's garb for those who can afford nothing better, or those restricted by the vows of their profession from wearing aught else. A reluctant favorite among magi. Leather, the workhorse of novice travelers. Leather armor is found throughout Britannia. Many of the professions are restricted to leather as their best choice, a favorite among bards, druids, and rangers. Chain, used by those who can handle the weight of chainmail while fighting. This armor offers excellent protection. Only the finest steel is used, with double thickness on the shoulders. All links are individually riveted for strength, a favorite among fighters and tinkers. Essentially what I'm getting here is well, I don't know what these favorites mean. Because I thought it said the fighter can use anything. So does the chain being their favorite mean that it's better for them than using plate? I would think not, but I don't know. Anyway, it says for plate, the aristocrat of the armorer's craft. Plate affords more protection than any other conventional armor. Each suit is tailor-made to thy shape. The cost is naturally sizable, but the effect is inspiring, a favorite among paladins. As is the case with weaponry, rumors abound of magical armor that will withstand the breath of a dragon. But who knows, perhaps either but rumors, spread by orcs to lure fighters into illusory searches, caught resulting in death. In other words, wild goose chase. Magical, Chapter 7, Magical Arts. Most of us understand only those things that we can see and feel. Yet there is a segment of the population that can see the unseeable and can feel that which has no substance. The perception and use of these ethereal forces is called magic. To some, it is an art, to others, a science. It is difficult for this historian to describe the art with which he is totally unfamiliar. He can, however, comment upon what purports to be the science. The basis of all spellcasting is the proper mixing of the necessary reagents. Reagents are the physical materials which are said to provide the initial energy to begin the spell. This is science, people. Each spell uses a different reagent formula. Maybe it's more like chemistry. These formulas are jealously guarded by magic users, for quite often the difference between life and death is knowing a spell that the opponent knows not. From the bill of fare at the herb shops, the observer can glean the names of the reagents: sulfurous ash, ginseng, garlic, spider silk, blood moss, and black pearl. Furthermore, there are reputed to be two others, we saw those before, more powerful still than those just listed. However, they are not for sale, according to the proprietors of the herb shops. They are nightshade and mandrake root. Only certain classes of the 8 major professions have any talent for magic. Some are quite strongly endowed, such as magi and druids, while the paladins, bards, tinkers, and rangers have but a little power. Fighters and shepherds have no magical ability at all. The shepherds are like useless. They're like the worst class. It's kind of funny though. As I mentioned before, my older brother and his friend kind of played this game first, and as they were progressing, they found that they had the idea that it might be easiest to start off your own character as a shepherd, because what happened was they recruited their shepherd later on, and they found it was very hard to level them up. They were like really lagging behind. I don't know if that's the best strategy, but that's kind of the idea we had. So when I made my character, I made it a shepherd named Grim Reaper. Anyway, in fact, magi are so tuned to the special energy that comprises magic that when they cast a spell, a blue aura glows around their head and shoulders. While most spells are reputed to possess either offensive or defensive abilities, some are utilitarian in nature, such as light, open, and view spells. Pardon me. Stupid cough. The rare Aeromancer can harness the power of the winds. Sorry. An ancient scroll on display in the library at the Lyceum. Great time to have a coughing fit. I see my viewership go down too as I have the coughing fit. People don't want to hear people cough. Anyway, an ancient scroll on display in the library at the Lyceum tells of different types of energy fields created by means magical. It lists the following fields and discusses their properties. Sleep, a green field that may bring sleep to anyone who passes through it. Lightning, a blue field that serves as an impenetrable barrier, which inflicts damage upon any who touch it. Flame, an orange field that imparts massive damage upon those foolish enough to try to cross it. Poison, a violet field of noxious vapors that poisons anyone passing through who is not quick to hold their breath. Whether these fields may be controlled by magic is uncertain. Oh, that's me. Excuse me. However, the scroll was concerned with the tale of a wizard's battle. One can only ponder whether the writer survived the encounter. And here's the part I used to like flipping through as a kid because it was cool. The bestiary. That is a list of monsters, essentially. Bat. A non-evil subterranean dweller found in the deepest caverns. The principal diet of the bat is animal blood. They are quite large and may attack any who disturb their rest. Cyclops. These evil giants can hurl half-ton boulders down from the heights. Even a grazing hit will do considerable damage to a member of thy party. The serpent's spine is said to be the best hunting range for them. Dragon. The dragon is an evil flying serpent which can cross water and blast ships with huge fireballs. Not many ships can withstand a couple of passes by an attacking dragon. Etin. These evil two-headed aberrations of nature can cast huge boulders down upon thy party, causing immense damage. It is best to try to kill them with long-range weapons and spells. A large clan of Ettins is said to live along the Serpent's Spine. So if we go to the Serpent's Spine, we're going to fight Cyclops and Ettins. Gazer. These hypnotic creatures snare their prey by putting them to sleep. The deep forests are the favorite habitat of these evil floating eyes. Thanks for the extra like, whoever hit that button. I appreciate it. Ghost. The restless spirits of those trapped between planes. Ghosts can pass through walls, so use extreme caution when they are thought to be nearby. Evil ghosts are often found in ruins, battlefields, and crypts. Here's a gazer who is probably inspired by the beholders of D&D. Although they only put you to sleep. I think the D&D beholders have like a different eye that has a different kind of ray that it shoots, so it can do all kinds of nasty effects. Gremlins are a pain. They steal your food. Here they are. To look at them. Look at the little dorks. These hungry denizens of the underworld love to sneak up to unwary travelers and steal all their food. Do not let an evil gremlin get next to thee. Definitely don't want those gremlins next to you. And if you feed them after midnight, you know what happens. Headless. Another evil being best suited to terror and destruction. The Headless is indeed a creature of nightmares. Many a traveler has fled in abject terror at the sight of these headless torsos bearing upon them. I am a torso! And they have very bushy hair in that area to cover up the bits. Hydra. Beware the evil breath of the multi-headed Hydra. The massive fireballs can fry most members of thy party. Insects. If thou dost stay clear of these non-evil vermin, they will not bother thee. Marsh and dungeons are their favorite locales. Insects can fly, so they can chase thee over water. They said they're not going to bother you, though. But they could possibly chase you, apparently, it says. And a lick. This undead shade of a powerful wizard, as you can see, it's a floating skull, can still cast very powerful magic spells. The lick is a most dangerous opponent, under even favorable conditions. Lava lizard. These reptilian creatures love fire and dwell in infernos. In combat, they have been known to spit flaming lava 30 feet, so beware these evil insects. Mimic. One of the most treacherous and evil creatures in all of Britannia. The mimic can assume any shape, although they seem to prefer assuming the likeness of treasure chests. Upon spotting one, the careless traveler greedily rushes toward the chest. When the traveler gets close enough, Mimic casts out a poisonous venom. When the traveler succumbs to the poison, the Mimic feasts upon him. The only known way to detect a chest Mimic is to wait until it gets curious enough to peer out at thee by lifting the lid of the chest. Nixie. These aquatic first cousins of the ancient race of elves rise from the depths to strike. Sorry again, guys. So I have to see how much this keeps up. I mean, hopefully once I'm really going, I won't have to talk quite this much, so maybe it'll be a little easier on my whatever going on here. All right. The evil Nixies wield sharp tridents which can be hurled against a ship's crew from afar, causing great damage. Orc. Would that every orc had been destroyed with the fall of the triad of evil. They bred like rabbits and still infest the woods and hills, though in much smaller numbers than before. And here are our Mimic, Nixie, and Orc. Phantom. These tragic souls have been captured by evil and forced to reenact their battles throughout all time. So they're like Civil War reenactors or any kind of war reenactors. They are bodiless but can be detected because their swords and shields remain visible. Phantoms are tough opponents, as dying is meaningless to them. Pirates, truly the dregs of Britannia. Most of these crews have death warrants hanging over their heads. Remember that the evil pirates take no prisoners. Their ships are equipped with heavy cannons, and the crews are well maintained to quickly move their large galleons into battle position. It is a rare skipper indeed that can survive a broadside duel with a pirate vessel. Thy best hope is to dot the T, or to close with thy enemy. If thou art able to defeat the crew, the ship itself becomes thy prize. Oh, yeah, that's really valuable. For castaways on remote islands, this is the only hope for salvation. If you wind up being stuck for whatever reason on an island, you actually have to wait around for a pirate to appear and then do that. Or you could just load from a saved game or something, I guess. Here's our Phantom, Pirates, and a Python. Python, the venom of Britannian python, is highly poisonous. These non-evil constrictors, and notice they're saying not a couple of things are non-evil. As I mentioned before, there's some animals that this special like code of morals regarding them when you I think essentially you shouldn't attack them unless they attack you or something like that. The bats were one of them too. And insects. These non-evil constrictors can spit their foul venom a full 11 paces and should be treated with the utmost respect. So they really, they really spew their venom far. Rat. The common giant rat, while not evil by nature, will still enter human camps in search of food. They pose a threat to any dungeon explorers foolish enough to startle them. Reaper. These grim creatures stand upright on trunk-like bodies and wave many tentacles at their prey. And they're similar to the Ropers of Dungeons and Dragons, I believe. I don't know if they're still in the current edition, Ropers. The Evil Reaper can also reputedly cast different energy fields, and thus is considered a most vicious opponent. The rogues that are found to be found throughout the land are often escaped prisoners who now make their livelihood as highwaymen by attacking travelers. If they get next to thee, they may pick thy pockets. Yeah, it's funny. In the middle of the battle, they'll just steal your gold, and if you kill them, you don't get it back, I don't think. Just kind of ridiculous, but it's like they just kind of suck it into a void or something. Seahorse. These magical creatures appear quite fair and are not evil, but if offended, they can make devastating enemies. They are possessed of powerful magical abilities, like any ordinary seahorse you find, obviously, which can wreak havoc among thy party. Serpent. The sea serpent is an aquatic relative of the dragon. The fireball cast by the serpent can sink a ship long before it has a chance to close with the beast. The best defense against a sea serpent is to engage it in close combat as quickly as possible. It is thy only chance, albeit a slim one, to survive the encounter. Skeleton. Animated bones. The skeletons are the undead incarnations of a variety of creatures. These tools of evil strike fear into ordinary travelers. With the proper enchantment, however, they can be dispelled. You just cast the undead spell, I guess. Slime. Dungeon walls fairly ooze with the slime. Most slime just sits there. This evil variety comes after thee. Spider. Beware of inadvertently wrecking a spider's web, and this non-evil creature will probably leave thee in peace. If thou suffer the misfortune of crossing one, take care to avoid the venomous spittle. Squid. When the tentacles of the giant squid close around a man or ship, the very power of lightning is released upon the prey. 'Tis best to try to destroy the evil squid with cannon fire before it can engage thee at close quarters. Notice it did not say the squid is non-evil, therefore I declare shoot first and ask questions later. The slime are all like an X shape for some reason. Troll. These large and evil creatures can hurl axes, of which they carry a plentiful supply, with frightening accuracy. Beware their tricks. Trolls are usually found in hills and mountains. Wisp. More insubstantial than most evil creatures. Wisps can actually teleport around the battlefield and attack from anywhere. It is most disconcerting to be involved in an encounter that contains a wisp. Wizard. Not all magic users follow the path of good. These evil renegade wizards make very dangerous adversaries when crossed. Zorn. Zorns are the antithesis of everything, whatever that means. They pass right through walls and obstacles and negate all nearby magic. If an evil Zorn closes with thee, thou probably will not escape its embrace. As I mentioned, they're from D&D as well, but they have an X in their name, X-Orn. All right, we got these special ones. And Dan the Man says, as much as I enjoyed... All right, let's go back a little bit. Dan the Man says, I only had this copy of the game as a kid, but a friend had the leather-like books I would read in school during recess. Yeah, they're definitely fun to read there. And he also says, as much as I enjoyed the bestiary, the illustrations of magic and the illustrations of the magic spells must have stirred my imagination the most, and I remember them best for some reason. Okay. Yeah, I think the illustrations are best for the spells. These ones are fine too. Most of them are kind of generic, like the troll standing there and spiders, but they're still cool art. I like them too. Some of them you wouldn't even realize what they are without a picture, like a reaper. Like, oh wow, I guess that's what a reaper looks like. Okay. Anyway, back to where we are. These are some special dudes, the evil demon kind of people. Lords of the Evil Dominion, Balron. It's believed by some that all of these marshals of evil were destroyed when the Triad fell. If any do exist, it would be better for one to quit life itself than to face the fury of a Balron. And notice that they capitalize Q, because when you quit the game, there's a certain command, quit and save it's called. And again, when the original games they were using a keyboard, you would hit Q to quit and save. However, it's not just quit the game, it's quit and save, so you would still have your saved game. I guess you could turn off your computer back in the day. Anyway, the ancient scrolls describe them as flying creatures which cast devastating fireballs, as well as weave massive enchantments that once felled entire armies. Devil. These flying lieutenants of evil may sweep offshore and chase thee across the waves. They are powerful magic users and should be avoided at all costs. Devils are particularly fond of torturing their victims when the opportunity arises. Pardon me once again. Chapter 9, The Skills of Combat. The historian is a man of intellectual pursuits and therefore little acquainted with the ways of combat. For the following information on such skills, we are deeply indebted to the Master at Arms of the Order of the Silver Serpent. Before fighting, be certain that thou art properly equipped for the ensuing fray. Dost thou have the proper weapon and armor? If not, then thou must equip thyself anew. When thou commence to ready a weapon or wear some armor, thou wilt be offered a selection of such items as are available in thy party's common pool. If thou dost choose an item inappropriate for thy class, thou wilt be asked to select again. This is kind of important if you're buying weapon and armor at a store for a character. You need to be aware ahead of time of what they can use, because I don't think the shop will stop you from buying it. And it doesn't know which individual character you're buying it for. As it mentions right here, you have a communal inventory. So you do have to know that off the top of your head or look it up. You don't want to be like, well, I'm going to buy my mage some plate armor and shell out big bucks. And then, oh, yeah, the mage can't wear plate armor. Now, that said, you might have someone else who could use the item, but it is good to be informed before you shell out the cash. Initiating combat. When thou art next to an enemy, thou may attack in the direction of thy foe. That will then be able to view thy combat location, and the battle shall ensue. Pardon me once again. Being attacked. If thou dost not attack a creature, then assuredly the creature will attack thee at its earliest opportunity, assuming that the creature is evil or hungry and evil. How to fight. Each fighter and magic user will have an opportunity for a separate action. Thou may only attack in the main cardinal direction. So this is where I'm wondering, I thought the Sega Master version revised this so you can attack either diagonally or maybe also like kind of use a cursor for when you have ranged weapons, so you could like fire at an odd angle. However, this particular book might have been printed exactly the same for all platforms. But yeah, the Sega Master System, I do hear, improves that limitation of combat. Something about how you can only attack in the 4 cardinal directions. Now, there is a Sega Master specific manual to read on top of this, which I'll also be flipping through. Before you groan, oh my god, it is actually quite short. This is the long thing. And as you can see, we're getting towards the end here. We're about 80% through, I think. When it is the fighter's turn, and hopefully it's actually fun to read through. I think it's fun too, and kind of important too, and it really sets the tone and the setting and everything. You don't want to just jump into Ultima 4. I apologize again. I got this cough bothering me. I haven't been coughing today. I thought I was feeling well, but I think all this speaking is having an effect on me. Those with missile weapons may fire them across the battlefield by denoting the direction of fire. Magic users can cast a spell when it is their turn. Again, only spells for which reagents have been prepared will function. The spell must be selected and the direction fixed. Sorry about For anyone concerned, I am COVID negative. Just a thing. And I'm feeling fine otherwise. The spell must be selected in the direction fixed. Most combat spells are functional across the field of battle. Energy fields, however, can be cast only in areas adjacent to the caster. Victory. When all the monsters have been destroyed, thou wilt return to the surrounding countryside. If the monsters were carrying any treasure, this will now be available to thee. Care should be used in opening any treasure chest, as they are frequently trapped. Fleeing. There will come times in thy quests when thou wilt be confronted with superior forces. Whenever one of thy team is near death, guide him or her off the combat field to save them. If the tactical situation deteriorates completely, removing all members of the party from the field will disengage thee from thy enemy. There are those who will call thy actions cowardly, but a wise leader will know the value of preserving the life of one's fellows. Terrain considerations. Devote considerable time to the study of the fields of combat. Locate defensible positions for thy party, making sure to maintain an avenue of escape should the battle go badly. Remember our heritage. A few valiant fighters strategically placed in a narrow rocky pass can stand off an army numbered in the thousands. I don't know about thousands, but okay. Weapon considerations. There are three distinct classes of weapons available to the warrior. They are missile weapons, which permit the striking of foes at a distance. Pole arms, which allow one to smite over an obstacle or companion. I might have to abort this soon. I'm going to try to power through this, but we'll see. And hand-to-hand weapons, which necessitate engaging one's enemies at very close quarters. Ethics of war. Do not feel that this is thy birthright to slay everything that walks, flies, or swims. The Code of Chivalry states that before engaging in combat with a foe, the warrior should ask, is this foe truly evil? If it is not, then thou must not kill it, but stand thy ground and force it to retreat. That's interesting. It's actually saying, perhaps for those animals, you should let them retreat, because I was alluding to this before, but I might have had the details wrong. I think it's essentially you don't want to kill them. A lot of enemies will retreat as they're beat up, but if it's like an orc, for example, because it's evil, you're allowed to kill it while it's retreating. I think that's what it's saying. But if it's an animal, you let them retreat. It's essentially the non-evil things are animals. It could be others too. The code is thy touchstone, for without it thou art but a speck of dust in the whirlwind of chaos. Dust in the wind. Chapter 10, Modern Civilization and Our Universe. That's weird. We have just emerged from the darkest period in recorded history. With the vanquishing of the triad of evil, we need no longer anxiously watch our backs for fear that evil will fall upon us in the first unguarded moment. The stability achieved by the New Age seems to herald a golden age of peace and prosperity. What kind of people will inherit this New Age? Surely our destiny is not to perpetually fight as warring tribes throughout all time. there not a higher calling, one worthy of our efforts and capabilities? If one accepts that the next era of human growth should not be fostered through aggressive territorial expansion, then a possible answer emerges. We must turn inward. Pardon me. Looks like I have one viewer now. Oh boy. Yes, coughing fits don't really do it for people. I apologize again. Ugh. Of late, a small group of inquisitive philosophers at the Lyceum have been asking such questions of each other. While their musings seem quite radical and new, they are worthy of consideration. Is living life of virtue an essential element of civilization, or can society survive the test of time without such principles? How might we ensure the long-term continuation of our newfound peace? What systems of laws and ethics will ensure the continued happiness of all our people? Why doth evil still stalk the world, and can it ever truly be vanquished? If the public set of ethics, which evolved from the days of primordial survival, is impure, how can we achieve a clean foundation upon which to build a life of virtue? We're getting pretty deep here for a video game manual, right? Given the premise that to understand purity one must strive to be so, how does one strive for that which cannot be understood? If our true purpose is to achieve a balance with our surroundings, as is suggested in the ancient scrolls of the library, how can we face nature without first facing ourselves? Meditation seems to hold the key to perspective. In the transcendental state, one is freed from the shackles of modern living. The whole of the universe resonates with thee, and thou dost feel for once as if thou dost belong to a greater whole. Yet all too soon the meditation ends, and thou dost return from this brief glimpse of the sublime to the daily need for survival. It is time for all to put aside their warlike ways and begin fighting the evil that lurks within themselves. It is far too easy to sit and espouse the path of virtue, yet never set foot upon it. The ancient rule of treating others as thou wouldst be treated thyself takes on new meaning when put in the context of universal harmony. We must become living examples of our beliefs. How does one begin to first walk along this new way? Do road markers exist if we but open our eyes to see them? To be at peace in all areas is a state only achieved by an avatar. Is such a state attainable by any human, fallible as we all are? The true answer can only be found by those who quest forth in search of it, for who can see the end of the path before each beginning journey. It is also written that for each person the path is different. Perhaps the seeker of wisdom and enlightenment should begin by visiting Lord British, for his knowledge of the ways of the land is great. Conversing with him may help one determine where lies the centers of the 8 virtues of the Avatar. Many philosophers hold the opinion that the path is in reality but a series of separate small paths. Each minor path leads to the fulfillment of an aspect of ourselves. Treading one of these minor paths may be construed as a life's goal, and many people have debated which is the most advantageous to follow. Yet it is not the whole much greater than the sum of its parts. Take up the challenge, and tread not one but all of the minor paths in thy search for enlightenment and perfection. Perhaps only then wilt thou find the beginnings of the great path. The quest of the Avatar awaits. It is not thy heritage that thou dost seek, 'tis thy destiny. Whew. All right, that's pretty much the end. Let's just read this afterward. As an addendum to this work, I, Lord British, would like to speak of the quest of the Avatar mentioned in these pages. The quest of the Avatar is the search for a new standard, a new vision of life for which our people may strive. We seek the person who can become a shining example of our nation and guide us from the age of darkness into the age of light. We have sent this message out to the farthest reaches of the known universe. Indeed, we have even spoken across the void of time. Wow. Is there one who can complete the quest of the Avatar? Many have tried already and have met with partial success, becoming enlightened in one or more of the 8 virtues of the Avatar, but none have yet attained the true state of being an Avatar. The secrets of the Avatar are buried deep in the hearts of both our people and the land in which we dwell. The search will be arduous, and the one who shall succeed must be able to assemble all the parts of the great mystery in order to solve the quest. Gaze upon the device portrayed on the facing page of this tome. Learn it well, for when thou dost gaze upon it again, then shall thy life's quest be revealed. That's the back. Got a little bit more. I, Lord British, would like to thank Roe R. Adams III for his invaluable collaboration on the plot of The Great Quest and for his writings contained within this manuscript. Further thanks go out to Dave Albert for his writings contained within the Book of Wisdom, that's the spell book, and his editing of these works. Dennis R. Lubey for the magnificent illustrations within the text. Patricia Hunter and Marcia Muse for their graphics works found in the game. Chuck Buka and Steve Muse for their programming aid when I needed it so desperately. Kenneth W. Arnold for his masterful music on those versions in which it is contained. I love the music in this game too. It's really good. And a bunch of other people. Bob McMillan, Brendan McSheffrey, John McSheffrey, Jeff Hillhouse, not Millhouse, Donna Gagney, Julie Rapult, Richard Garriott, that's Lord British himself, and Robert Garriott, I guess that's his brother perhaps, for their time and insights during playtest. And this is copyright 1985 Origin Systems Incorporated, all rights reserved. Ultimate and Lord British are trademarks of Richard Garriott. All right. Finally, we have completed reading through all 39 pages of that manual. And yeah, there's one couple more things to do. I know anyone who's stuck it out this long is super patient, but we do need to check out the actual Sega Master Manual quick. I'm gonna skim through it. It's not that, it doesn't have important stuff in it, like as far as the subject matter and whatnot, but it might have like UI stuff. I think like special UI stuff to know. So yeah, in the Sega Master Controller, you have 2 buttons. So I'm using that. I'm using a simulated, or an emulated, I should say, Sega Master. Journey onward means to continue. I'm going to be doing initiate a new game. There's 3 game slots, essentially. And you use the D-pad, select with 1 or 2, okay. Initiate a new game. Okay, you enter your name, yeah. Man or woman, sure. History of Britannia. Yeah, it says when you were instructed to read the History of Britannia, which is the book we just read, you had best do so. And it really instructs you in the game, even that's really important to do so. Don't continue with the story screen until you've read it thoroughly. So I've done that. I've done my homework. What is this part? A second book you'll come across will help you as well, but it's not necessary to read it just yet. To translate the title of the second book into English, use the code key found on page 28. What are they talking about? The purpose of your quest, yeah, I can kind of skim over that. Well, this is actually not specifically mentioned in the last manual. I guess we'll go over it then. Hey, Stu, how's it going? Stu says, oh, Avatar, how questest thou? I've been reading through the whole manual before I start, all the pages. You have been chosen to rid Britannia of evil once and for all. The amulet that's been bestowed upon you is the Ankh, the symbol of life and rebirth. Only one who possesses the Ankh may attempt the quest of the Avatar. Your objective is simple: to conquer the Abyss. I think that's the final dungeon. And view the Codex of Ultimate Wisdom. That's the final thing you need to find. Reaching this objective, though, is possibly the most difficult task you'll ever undertake. To gain entrance to the Codex of Ultimate Wisdom, you must have first obtained enlightenment in each of the 8 virtues. And Stu says, forsooth, that seems very wise, but also very boring. Your wisdom just went up 1 point. Sure. The 8 virtues are honesty, compassion, valor, justice, sacrifice, honor, spirituality, and humility. You have to master all 8 of those, essentially. Only the purest of souls, with the rightest of minds, have even a slight chance of reaching the end of this long road. The game screen is divided into 3 sections, which you can see here. You got the main, I guess, map view, and you have the menu on the side here, and down here is like the output, or kind of like the log of what happens. Commands. There's a command to help you to do anything you'll need to do. To call up the command, let's press the 2 button. To select the command, move the select bar with the D-pad. They say the D button, but I'm going to keep calling it the D-pad. And select by pressing button 2. To cancel a command, press button 1. Okay, pretty standard stuff. Like the rightmost button selects the thing, and the leftmost one like cancels or goes back or something like that. Talk. You'll need a ton of information to succeed in your quest. The way to get it is by having conversations with the people you come across in the many towns of Britannia. To use the talk command, select the person you wish to converse with using the D button and press button 2. Remember, though, you can only talk to someone who's been standing right beside you, so be sure to move your character in position before selecting the talk command. There are several areas in which you may question people. And again, yeah, it used to be, on the computer versions, you had to think of these words to type, but in Sega Master, you get a menu, which is convenient. You don't have to rack your brain quite so much, but you could view it as a negative depending on your point of view. That's over here on the right. I realize I'm not drawing on the screen right now. Okay, let's see what Stu said. Oh God, Stu's going to be trolling me now. Let me ask you a hypothetical question. Let's say a fellow YouTuber is giving you smack during one of your live streams. Do you valorously tell him to fuck off, or do you humbly refrain? I will valorously tell Stu to leave. I will put him in timeout. We have timeout capabilities in YouTube now. Yeah, I can put you in timeout even though you're a moderator, Stu. And I can apparently do it anywhere between like 10 seconds to a full day. You probably got that notification too, I would assume. All right, so yeah, you can say things like name, job, health. These are the subject matter that you talk to people about. Whether or not they'll join you on the quest. Most people will not join you because there's only eight people in the game who can join you, and you replace one of them depending on your character class. So you can get 7 people out of the 8 available to join. The more of you there are, the better your chances of success. Yeah, getting people to join is very important. Attack. And I played this game for so long that while I have definitely forgotten a ton of detail in this game, I will most assuredly remember all of the characters you can recruit by their name once I see them all. I can probably rattle off most of them right now. You got Jeffrey the Fighter, Eola the Bard, Janna the Druid, Mariah the Mage, Julie the Tinker. Yeah, female and male in this game, by the way. Dupre the Paladin. I'm not going to try to think of the last two. Maybe it'll come to me. Anyway, attack. You'll run into some pretty nasty creatures in your travels, and they will often engage you in battle. However, if you're in good condition, you can engage them as well. To attack, choose the direction which you'll mount your assault using the D button and press the button 2. Again, as with the talk command, you can only, obvious stuff, only if they're next to you, essentially. During battle, to strike a blow with whatever weapon you're using, press 2. Choose the direction, move the sight using the D button. You'll often be attacked by several enemies at once, so the quick disposal of one of them may scare the others away. Don't be a coward. Magic. When you wish to cast a spell or mix reagents, select this command. Then select the sub-command, and the pertinent information will appear. You should probably read the second of the books that was given to you, as it describes in detail every magic spell that can be cast. Mix reagents. Let's see. That's right. Chimino is the ranger. Stu says Chimino is supposed to be Richard Garriott. And Dan the Man says, I love the Sid music for this game on C64. I did too. Surprisingly, never got tired for those short repeating tunes, even after months of constant play. The music is incredible. This game had the same tunes. It has a very Sega Master tone, because obviously it's on Sega Master. I prefer the Commodore, but that's probably some kind of a bias from what was drilled into my head as a child. And Dan the Man said at midnight he's going to be reading The Great Gatsby on his channel. Milk and cookies will be provided. I've been at it for almost 2 hours now, just reading the manual. I think it's worth it. I'm going to get into a deep game here. It is worth doing this. And I could have done it on my own, but I feel like anybody who's interested might want to follow along too. Maybe I'm assuming much, but I don't know. I also don't have a huge crowd anyway, so I know Dan the Man is probably enjoying this because he loves this game. To prepare a mixture for a new spell, first check the list of spells on the screen. Find the one you need with the D button. Okay, so you choose the spell. Once you've chosen a spell, the list of reagents and the quantities that you presently have will appear. Notice I don't think it tells you that for this spell you need, 1 ginseng and 1 garlic. You need to reference the spell book. Eventually you'll have them memorized. If I recall correctly, I think I had them more or less memorized back in the day. If you don't have the proper ingredients, press button 1 to cancel the command. These magical elements are very valuable. If you make a mistake while mixing a potion, you lose the ingredients you used. Reagents can be purchased at one of the herb shops around Britannia. If you find one of them, select the number of mixtures, press the D button up. In order to cast a spell, you must first have a mixture prepared. If you try to cast without one, the message "you have no mixtures" will appear at the bottom of the screen. Once your mixture is ready and you wish to cast, identify the player who will cast the spell. Yeah, this is kind of obvious stuff. You're going to use a D-pad, press button 2. You may make mixtures and save them for later so don't get confused. What? Okay, certain spells have special instructions, so check the bottom of the screen carefully when weaving your magic. One more thing, if your character has high magic power, see status on page 20, and you want to use many spells in battle, have some mixtures prepared. Once you are involved in a fracas, you can only cast, not mix. Get a chest. Select this command when you wish to open a chest you won in battle. And Stu also says Vas Flam. Stu, you missed my coughing fits. You count yourself lucky. I'm trying to talk in like kind of a softer way that seems to trigger less of my coughing fits. The bad guys often carry them, so if you win a battle, you may take whatever treasures they were carrying. Move your character right on top of the chest. Identify the player that will open the chest with the D button and press the button 2. And be warned, there can be traps and stuff. All right. Don't take the chest from the town. That's right. This is perceived as a weakness of character and may hinder your progress. Remember, stay pure of mind and soul. Yeah, it's considered stealing, essentially. Somebody's stuff. Use. There are 2 sub-commands, equipment and items. Okay, let's use your equipment and items. Equipment consists of things you buy at the guild shop in the town of Vesper, not on the map. That's strange. Equipment is specifically stuff you buy from only one of the towns? Okay, items are things you find using the search command. I think that might be a little error in that statement. Ready. Select this command when you wish to prepare a particular weapon or set of armor for battle. Yeah, it's equipping stuff. Search. In this area, if the area you check is void of such items, nothing here will appear. Yeah, okay. Camp. There are 4 sub-commands for camping. And Stu says, isn't Fracas a different game? I don't know that game. Can we play Zillion instead? No Zillion tonight. There are 4 sub-commands: rest, new order, status, and save. That's under camp. Rest. When your hit points totals less than half of maximum, you should stop and camp for the night. Why did I say less than half? I guess it's like a rule of thumb. Find rest and press button 2. Normally, you'll get a good night's sleep. Occasionally, you'll be rudely awakened by unwelcome guests. Watch yourself. New order. That's just to switch the positions of 2 characters. Here's the status screen. All right, you got our wind direction, number 1 over here. Moon symbols up here. There's 2 of them, as we mentioned before. Gold pieces here. It's the G right here. Gender. Apparently, you need to know your gender at all times, in case you forget. Food is over here. The F up at top. Your name. Profession. Fighter. Condition is number 8. That's in good health. I guess otherwise you could be poisoned or whatnot. Level is 9, which is down here. Oh, this is kind of a zoom in on this area. So we have level, strength, dexterity, intelligence, magic points, I guess. Is that a thing? Magic power, they call it. Magic power maximum is the next one. Then you have hit points and hit points maximum. Finally, experience points. Save. After a long day's journey, you may find that you want to keep the game to continue later. You can save up to 3 games simultaneously. Shopping. You're provided with 200 gold pieces at the start of the game, and you'll probably collect more as you win battles. You can use them to buy weapons, armor, reagents, or for magic spells, food, drink, equipment from the guild shop, and more. Remember, as you visit each town, the types of stores there are. Later, when you are in dire need of, say, reagents, you'll be able to find them more easily. Yeah, it's good. You really have to keep a lot of detailed notes in this game. Transportation. Most of your travels will probably be on foot, but if you can find the uncharted town of Paws, located in the Spirit Wood region, north of the Fens of the Dead, you'll be able to purchase a fine horse. I might as well start writing things down. I should have written other things down before, but Paws has horses. And is located in the Spirit Wood region, near Fens of the Dead. Okay. Horse travel is twice as quick. Blah, blah, blah. As you travel along the shore, you'll see an occasional ship. Try to wrest it from its present owners and do some sailing. At some point, this will be absolutely necessary. You'll know when. When traveling on foot or on horseback, watch the terrain. If you enter or even step in a marsh, for example, you breathe in some poisonous gas that will kill you unless you can perform the cure spell. Also, your hit point total will decrease by 2 with every step you take. Yeah, that's really bad. The poison is a really horrible thing in this game unless you have cure spells handy. The shrines. For each of the 8 virtues, there is a shrine at which one can meditate and seek enlightenment. You have to learn the mantra for each one. Learn the location of the shrine from the townspeople. Also learn the mantra for each virtue. A mantra is a single word that you must chant to help you focus your thoughts during meditation. You cannot, however, enter a shrine unless you bear the rune of entry. Oh, you need the rune, the mantra, and the location. And that's how you master the virtue. But I think you need to have worked on that, your kind of score for that virtue as well. To enter a shrine, you must possess the rune of entry for that particular shrine. The runes are very well hidden. I think they're usually in dungeons. It will take patience and a lot of questions on your part to discover the general area of the rune locations and some physical duress in actually taking them. Stones. In your conversation, you may get stoned. No, Stu said you're going to ruin the game if you don't start soon. Yeah, sure. Actually, I'm almost at the point of starting. I'm just going to finish this manual, which we're close to the end of, and then take a glance at the map without getting too crazy into it, and then I shall begin. In your conversations, you may eventually hear tell of some special colored stones which can help you on your quest. I forgot what those were about. I remember the runes and the codexes. I forgot about the stones though. Follow the clues as you would when searching for a rune shrine or anything else. Once again, the history of Britannia and the book with magic spells will be a great help to you if you refer to them often. However, the most important thing you can do is to educate yourself. To educate yourself is to have a lengthy talk with Lord British at the Britannia Castle. He knows a great many things about the land he governs. He and the good, pure citizens of Britannia are counting on you to succeed on your quest. Only the most virtuous of souls may gain entrance to the Codex of Ultimate Wisdom. Do you qualify? Nah. When you are moving, here's some hints. Have a particular destination in mind. Aimless roaming is sure to get you killed. Translate the map provided by using the code key. Oh man, they're going to make me do that. On page 28, here we have these runes. Knowing where you are and where you are going is of great import to you at all times. The importance of talking to people cannot be overemphasized. Never leave a town without being confident that you've talked to everyone at least once. Keep plenty of ginseng and garlic on hand. They are the reagents needed to perform the cure spell. That's right. Important. You'll most likely have no choice but to enter marshy terrain at some point, so be prepared. Take notes as you play. That way, you may always know what information you got in what town. Try to take care of as much business on one trip to a town as possible. For example, even if you didn't go to a town for the express purpose of shopping, pick up a few things. Use the moon gates often. The moon symbols at the top left of the screen will dictate your destination. Practice using the gates and get your timing down. The guild shop, located in an uncharted town east of the Bloody Plains. Let's write that one down. Guild shop, uncharted town east of the Bloody Plains. Is a place where you can buy certain things that you can't get elsewhere. You should try to find the town of Vesper. Is that the uncharted town? The town of Vesper? I'll take a note of that. Vesper with a question mark. All right, that is that. And now we'll just review the map. And I'm not going to translate it all. It's kind of one thing that is cool in the immersion aspect of it, but at the same, it's a little bit like, really, you're making me do that. Yeah. You don't know these names of things because you have to look up. Oh, don't make me do that, guys. Come on. I don't have it centered right, but it's a cool looking map. This is not the same. I mean, this is the Sega Master one. I guess it's the same map essentially, but you can see this is scanned from a folded, piece of paper essentially. The cooler ones are the cloth maps that we talked about earlier, and that Dan the Man said he was going to hang up on the wall. So yeah, if I want to know what these places actually mean, I do need translation. I have to. I'm sure there's translations of it, like pre-translated ones on the web or something, but ideally, I mean, if I wanted to work with this one, I would have to say, you know, well, what's this thing saying here? I guess that's an S. Is it an S? No, it's not. The first one looks like an S. It is actually, sure, this is going to be annoying, isn't it? Again, I kind of appreciate the immersion aspect of it, but come on. I can't even find the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for this one here. All right. I guess this is angled. Yeah, it's that. It is an S, I think. Oh. All right. I'm not gonna do that now, though. Nobody needs me to waste another 2 hours to just do that. Okay. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Let me move some windows around. Let's actually get started. This is exciting. All right. Ultima IV, Quest for the Avatar on Sega Master System. Let's do it. I am going to enjoy the intro because it shows cool stuff and plays cool music. How's our volume? I think it's pretty good. I always like the chained dragon and demon up top. Oh, here we go. Look at this. In another world, in a time to come. That's like the cover art right there, basically. But that was not part of the intro in the Commodore 64 version. That picture with the avatar holding the staff. It would just kind of show. It would cycle through all the music in the game, I believe, on this screen. It showed a lot of different little scenarios in the little map window there, like battles ensuing and stuff. And Eric says the only Ultima game I played was Ultima 9 Ascension. Oh, cool. No, I kind of stopped after 4. I wouldn't mind trying all of them. I should stream every Ultima game from 1 to whatever the hell. All right, let's begin. Now my Bluetooth controller has de-paired, so let's see if this actually repairs smoothly. Good, it did. Okay, I was afraid I might have to restart the application. All right, so we're gonna initiate a new game. We're gonna be, look at this fancy rainbow cursor. It's very vivid. All right, I'm gonna be the very creative name Mark W. Usually male. This has the coolest character creation where you have to answer a bunch of questions from like a fortune teller. Anyway, let's get into it. The day is warm, yet there is a cooling breeze. The latest in a series of personal crises seems insurmountable. You are being pulled apart in all directions. Yet this afternoon's walk in the countryside slowly brings relaxation to your harried mind. The soil and strain of modern high-tech living begins to wash off in layers. That willow tree near the stream looks comfortable and inviting. The buzz of dragonflies and the whisper of the willow's swaying branches bring a deep peace. Searching inward for tranquility and happiness, you close your eyes. What's this? A high-pitched, cascading sound like crystal wind chimes impinges on your floating awareness. As you open your eyes, you see a shimmering blueness rise from the ground. The sound seems to be emanating from this glowing portal. It is difficult to look at the blueness. Light seems to bend and distort around it, while the sound waves become so intense they appear to become visible. The portal hangs there for a moment. Then, with the rush of an imploding vacuum, like a vacuum cleaner, it sinks into the ground. Something remains suspended in mid-air for a moment. before falling to earth with a heavy thud. Somewhat shaken by this vision, you rise to your feet to investigate. A crude circle of stones surrounds the spot where the portal appeared. There is something glinting in the grass. You pick up an amulet shaped like a cross, with a loop at the top. It is an ankh, the sacred symbol of life and rebirth. But this could not have made the thud, so you look again and find a large book wrapped in thick cloth. With trembling hands you unwrap the book. Behold, the cloth is a map, and within lies not one book, but two. The map is of a land strange to you, and the style speaks of ancient cartography. The script on the cover of the first book is arcane but readable. The title is The History of Britannia as Told by Kyle the Younger, and we just spent a lot of time reading that book. The other book is disturbing to look at. Its small cover appears to be fashioned out of some sort of leathery hide, but from what creature is uncertain. The reddish-black skin radiates an intense aura, suggestive of an ancient power. The tongue of the title is beyond your ken. You dare not open the book and disturb whatever sleeps within. You decide to peruse the history. Settling back under the willow tree, you open the book. You read the book of history. No, really, read the book of history. I did my homework. It's a lot of homework, but I did it. Closing the book, you again pick up the ankh. As you hold it, you begin to hear a hauntingly familiar, lute-like sound wafting over a nearby hill. Still clutching the strange artifacts, you rise unbidden and climb the slope. In the valley below, you see what appears to be a fair. It seems strange that you came that way earlier and noticed nothing. As you mull this over, your feet carry you down toward the site. This is no ordinary traveling carnival, but a Renaissance fair. It's gonna be a lot of nerds there then. I'm surely a welcome, fit for that place. The pennants on the tent tops blow briskly in the late afternoon breeze. The ticket taker at the Ren Fair's gate starts to ask you for money, but upon spotting your ankh says, "Welcome, friend. Enter in peace and find your path." Pardon me once again. The music continues to pull you forward amongst the merchants and vendors. Glimpses of fabulous treasures can be seen in some of the shadowy booths. These people are very happy. They seem to glow with an inner light. Some look up as you pass and smile, but you cannot stop. The music compels you to move onward through the crowd. Through the gathering dusk, you see a secluded gypsy wagon sitting off in the woods. The music seems to emanate from the wagon. As you draw near, a woman's voice weaves into the music, saying, "You may approach, O seeker." You enter to find an old gypsy sitting in a small curtained room. She wears an ankh around her neck. In front of her is a round table covered in deep green velvet. The room smells so heavily of incense that you feel dizzy. Seeing the ankh, the ancient gypsy smiles and warns you never to part with it. "We have been waiting such a long time, but at last you have come. Sit here and I shall read the path of your future." On the table she places a curious wooden object like an abacus, but without beads. In her hands she holds 8 unusual cards. "Let us begin the casting." Alright, you guys can help me choose which option I take here. You can vote in the chat if you want me to pick a particular one. I may listen to your votes or make my own judgment call, but I do always like the audience participation wherever possible. The gypsy places the first 2 cards upon the table. They are the cards of honesty and justice. She says, "Consider this." She apparently sounds like Mel Brooks or something. I don't know. Consider this. A merchant owes thy friend money. Now long past is due. Thou dost see the same merchant drop a purse of gold. Okay, so this guy owes me money when he drops some gold. Dost thou honestly return the purse intact, or justly give thy friend a portion of the gold first? And Stu says those are the two greatest virtues in my opinion, honesty and justice. And Stu says B, justly give thy friend a portion of the gold first. What do you guys think? Should I give my friend a portion of the gold because this person owes him money? I thought it was me, I kind of misread. I guess it's my friend. I don't know, too. I think I would probably just go with A. I'm too honest, I guess. I'm going to pick A unless there's any more votes in the chat for B. And I will give it a few more seconds. Alright, I'm going with A. Honestly, return the purse. The gypsy places two more of the cards upon the table. They are the cards of honor and spirituality. She says, consider this. In thy youth, thou pledged to marry thy sweetheart. Now thou art on a sacred quest in distant lands. Thy sweetheart asks thee to keep thy vow. Dost thou honor thy pledge to wed, or follow thy spiritual crusade? So I don't know, you gotta honor your pledge to wed, right? Can't you bring her on the journey? I guess that's not a choice. I'm gonna go with honor. The gypsy places two more of the cards upon the table. They are the cards of sacrifice and humility. She says, consider this. Thou art an elderly, wealthy eccentric. Thy end is near. Dost thou donate all thy wealth to feed hundreds of starving children and receive public adulation? Or humbly live out thy life, willing thy fortune to thy heirs? Is it really more humble? Well, I guess the point is that for choice A, you're getting the public adulation. Maybe that's your main motive more than trying to help starving children. I don't know. I think it. If I'm being real and disregarding the public adulation part of it, I think it's more valuable to feed hundreds of starving children than just to, leave money to your heirs who are probably also wealthy already. So I think I've talked myself into A. Now Rob is watching this and be like, oh man, when he dies, he's not going to leave me much money, is he? The gypsy places two more of the cards upon the table. They are the cards of compassion and valor. She says, consider this. Thou dost manage to disarm thy mortal enemy in a duel. He is at thy mercy. Depends how pissed off I am. Dost thou show compassion by permitting him to yield, or slay him as expected of a valiant duelist? Well, I don't think it's actually valiant to kill someone when you got him in that position, but that's what the game says. So, I'm gonna go with A though. My gut is still saying A is the better choice. And obviously you could nitpick circumstances like, is he a mortal enemy because he's actually actively trying to kill me and my family and stuff? In which case I'm probably better off killing him, but it doesn't really give you that much context. So I'll say, I've defeated him, and I'll have my pride on top of that. I know it was better than him. All right, now we have basically gone through the first round, and now all the choices I've chosen already are up against each other for the second round. The gypsy places two more of the cards upon the table. They are the cards of honesty and sacrifice. She says, consider this. Thee and thy friend are valiant but petty. No, I already chose against being valiant, right? Anyway, I'll read what it says. Thee and thy friend are valiant but penniless warriors. Now both go out to slay a mighty dragon. Thy friend thinks he slew it. Thee did. When asked, dost thou truthfully claim the gold, or allow thy friend the large reward? I mean, if he really did it, and the people were saying, like maybe some, observers were saying, oh, Mark W did it. He killed the dragon. Then I would probably be honest and be like, or like, willing to let my friend take the credit because that's honest. But in this scenario, it's like, why would I let him take the credit when I did it? They're calling that being honest, but I feel like it's like just not letting him walk all over me. But I would probably I would get a little bit of compassion on top of it. Give my friend some of it. Anyway, I'm choosing A. I think I'm choosing A all the time, aren't I? The gypsy places 2 more of the cards upon the table. They are the cards of compassion and honor. She says, consider this. Thou art sworn to uphold a lord who participates in the forbidden torture of prisoners. That's not good. Each night their cries of pain reach thee. Dost thou show compassion by reporting the deeds, or honor thy oath and ignore the deal? My lord can suck it. Torture is nice. Torture is not cool. The gypsy places the last 2 cards on the table. They are the cards of honesty and compassion. This is the final choice, I believe. Yeah, it's going to determine if I'm the class that corresponds with the virtue of honesty, or the class that corresponds to compassion. They're the cards of honesty and compassion. She says, consider this. Entrusted to deliver an uncounted purse of gold, thou dost meet a poor beggar. Dost thou deliver the gold knowing that trust in thee was well placed, or show compassion giving the beggar a coin knowing it won't be missed? I'm actually trying to think of what classes these correspond to. I think honesty is mage and compassion is bard. But I'm gonna not let that figure into my choice. I can go with either one, it's fine. Uncounted. If it really is uncounted, I mean, I feel like I get away with B better. Nobody knows how much it is anyway, right? But I don't know, let's see. Deliver the gold knowing the trust in thee was well placed, or show compassion, giving the beggar a coin knowing you won't be missed. I'll give the beggar a coin. I'm gonna go with B. With the final choice, the incense swells up around you. The gypsy speaks as if from a great distance, her voice growing fainter with each word. So be it, thy path is chosen. There was a moment of intense wrenching vertigo. Whoa. As you open your eyes, a voice whispers within your mind. Seek the counsel of the sovereign. After a moment, the spinning subsides, and you open your eyes to the game. All right. I love this music. Sometimes I play guitar at a very bad level. And sometimes when I'm just fooling around with this, I play this melody, which I kind of figured out on my own because it's been in my head for decades. I'm just gonna enjoy it for a minute. Alright. Yeah, that's enough for now. Okay. Again, how's our volume though? I think it might be a little on the high side. I don't want to be competing with the music. Okay, I turned it down a wee bit. As much as I like the music. Well, I really only turned it down for you guys. Anyway, here we are. We're standing outside, I believe it's the town of Britain, and then we have the Britannia Castle. Talk, attack, magic, get chizzy. Alright, so how do I see my character stuff? I think I'm a bard, but the character doesn't really look very bardic. Shouldn't he be holding like a lute or something? I think it's a generic party icon that they show on this screen, no matter what you are. Alright, yeah, but how do I look at my character details? Is there not a way to do that? Maybe there isn't. Here we go, camp status. Here I am a bard as I had expected. I started at level 3 apparently. That's right. Level's weird in this game. It's you have 100 times your level in hit points. So I have 300 hit points at level 3, and that's actually not a whole lot. You do take quite a bit of damage as you fight. I have experience 240. You start with experience 2, which is kind of funny. Strength 17, dexterity 22, intelligence 25. I do have some magic power, and a maximum of 25 at 7 and 25. So that I don't remember how that replenishes. Is it just over time? All right. I say we hit. Let's start with the Lord British's castle place. Oh, how do I just back out? Now I can move. Oop. Okay, gotta go from the front. Stupid me. Yeah. Let's talk to people. Blocked. So what do I have to do? Talk. You meet a burly guard. If I recall correctly, the guards are rarely, if ever, useful. Yeah, so you get all these options. And again, the original, computer-based game like on Commodore and such, you have to think of these words to type. Although I think some of the basics are suggested in the manual, like name and health and stuff. All right, let's do it. Name. He says, "I am a guard." Yeah, but what's your name? Look, is he a burly guard? Job. I guard the castle and all within. Health. Couldn't be better. Join. I cannot join thee. Give. I do not need thy gold. Keep it. Guard. I guard the castle. Castle? The castle is fair and strong. Do you seek Lord British? I say yes. He is on the upper level in the throne room. That's all I can say. So again, this is kind of a, from my point of view, it's good. I like having this menu. In a sense, it does detract from some of the discovery, though, because you had to actively think of what you were going to say. And some of these items, some of these options were added. Like when he said I'm a guard, guard got added. And then when he said I guard the castle, castle got added. So as you converse, you'll get more options. All right, and this one's probably like a clone, I think, but try it anyway. Yeah, he's a guard. Yeah, same crap. All right, let's get out of here. Here's a jester bouncing around or something. He really is bouncing around. You meet a bouncing jester. He says, "I am Chuckles." Name. I am Chuckles. Look. Bouncing jester. Job. I am the royal jester. Health. Good, thanks. Join. I cannot join thee. Give. I do not need that gold. Keep it. Royal jester. Welcome unto the castle Britannia. Hast thou an ankh? Sure. Then enter in peace. Burly guard. I'm not gonna bother with the other burly guards. Hello, Ankh. Search. Nothing here. Those are fields of sleep or something like that. I don't remember what purple is. I think it's sleep. So we don't want to go through there. Another guard, I guess. I am a guard. Did the other ones have the capital A as they spoke to? Could it be better? Skipping him. Alright, these are windows, so you can see through them, but you can't walk through them. Alright. Guards everywhere. What is this, a guardhouse? They're just gonna say I'm a guard though, so. There are like secret doors and things, but look at that one right above me and to the right. It has a little black dot on it. Ah, look at that, look at that. Now the thing is, if I steal these, it's gonna mess me up. My virtue, I guess. And also they're gonna attack me, I think, because he sees me. I cannot raid this pile of chests, unfortunately. I think they would attack me. Maybe if somehow he can leave the room and he doesn't see me, I'd be able to take it. I could make up my lost virtues later, probably. But that might get me quite a good start with starting money. But I think that guard will kill me. I don't think he's ever gonna leave the room. So. Another guard. Should we go down to the second floor? Sorry, let's go up to the second floor. Hello, people. Funny, no response. Oh, did he step away? Nope, he just doesn't talk. These people that want to talk. What are they? They're green-haired people waving their arms. This is the kitchen. They must be cooked or something. Or are these guys the cooks? You meet a person with a white hat. And that's a cook. Their interest. Name? He says, I am le chef. Your interest. Job. I am the chef. Health. Well, all but my finger, which I cut. Did not need that gold. Chef. Food, glorious food. The cooking is my life. Cook. Cooking is a practiced art. Do you eat? Most days, yes. Then thou should try my soup. Can I ask about soup? No, that's it. Alright. See ya. How about you? Are you le chef too? Yes, he is le chef. He says, I am le chef. Job. I am the chef. Yeah, you could have. He's a clone. Kill the chef, says Stu. Yeah, the guards will come kill me then. I believe Lord British is up there. Let's poke around in here though first. Prison. Oh yeah. Oh, there's a random Reaper they have in prisons. That's funny. Can you tell me about this Reaper? He's just a regular burly guard, right? He's another generic guy. Actually says health great. The other one said couldn't be better, I think. This might be slightly different. I guard the castle and my liege. I don't know. Same difference. Here are some poor prisoners. They're like begging on their knees. Or they're turned into slugs, perhaps. I think they're supposed to be maybe partially chained and sitting on the ground. I don't know. Alright, there's Mr. British. Who's this here? Must be a bard. No response. He's like playing his music. He's not going to talk to me. Meet a dancing jester. I am Jester Twin, he says. To entertain is my job. Health. Perfectly hoppy. I'm not going to do join, give. There gold jester. A jester needs a good bard. I'm a bard. Our bard is very good. Oh, well, then. How dost thou like the music? No. Shame, we do. Talk to you. You meet a fair maiden. She says, I am Juliet. Every time I hit name, it's the same thing they already say. Look, fair maiden. Job, I can help thee. How can you help me? Health, fine, thanks. Help. Seek ye to know the 8 virtues. Form into the three principles. Okay. Know ye this? Nope. Seek it. Okay. What if I say yes this time? Now the one. Join my party. No. All right, Mr. British. We can talk to this other jester first. Probably won't do any good though. Jesse Jester, you're the twin too. The other half of the twin. Okay. Yeah, same. He's a clone. Hello, Mr. British. My food is down 3 just from walking around in the castle. I'm accidentally skipping stuff because I'm turning off my arrows. Okay, that's not what I intended to do. Let me fix that real quick. Shoot. Yeah, because I have my keyboard mapped to Z and X, and X is also my key to one of the keys in my combo to turn off my arrows. Let me get rid of this. Make it something else. But unfortunately, I'm skipping a lot of this text. It'll probably repeat, I think. And I'm gonna just rewind my stream quick. Bear with me a second. Sorry about this. And see what he said. Okay, he says, look at the gesture still, actually. There we go. Talking to Lord British. Lord British rises and says, "At long last, Mark W, thou hast come. We have waited such a long, long time." And then I say, or then he says, Lord British sits around and says, "A new age is upon Britannia. The great evil lords are gone, but our people lack direction and purpose in their lives." I think the next screen is the one we're on. Yeah, here we go. Okay, and close my preview. I've been rewinding. Okay, back to the current screen. A champion of virtue is called for. Thou may be this champion, but only time shall tell. I will aid thee any way that I can. And then the man, what does he say? He says, "I remember when I first felt super strong enough near the end of the game. I spent half an hour trying to kill Lord British with everything I had before. I knew he couldn't be killed. Total party kill." Yeah. I think I've tried that before too. You know, just save your game and go, yeah, let me see if I can actually kill him. Is it possible? Now, I know in Ultima Online, people managed to kill Lord British, although he was supposed to be impossible to kill. It could be they just did something like, you know, make his, I don't know, his health like 99999, so he was actually technically possible to kill. But yeah, apparently there was some kind of exploit or something where people managed to team up and kill Lord British. That's pretty funny. All right. Yeah. He'll eat it any way he can. How may I help thee? Name? He says, "My name is Lord British, sovereign of all Britannia." What else? Look. Now see the king with the royal scepter. And Dandaman adds, "I was stunned he was so strong. Not even sure how I eventually learned he couldn't be killed. No wonder to look things up back then." Yeah, I mean, you had to rely on, like, I don't know, maybe there would be some computer gaming magazine or something where there was an interview with Richard Garriott, or sometimes there were tips published. And I remember we definitely relied on tips in one of these magazines. I can't remember which. Job. Yeah. Health. He says, "I am well, thank ye." He asks, "Art thou well?" And if you say no, he'll heal you. But I am well. I didn't lose any hit points yet. That is good, he says. Excuse me, Stu said I killed him in Ultima 3. He took like 10 cannonballs to the face. Wow, that's pretty cool. I didn't know you could kill him in Ultima 3. Help? He says, "To survive in this hostile land, thou must first know thyself. Seek ye to master thy weapons and thy magical ability. Take great care in these thy first travels in Britannia. Until thou dost well know thyself, travel not far from the safety of the towns." Yeah, okay. What else? Ankh. He says, "The Ankh is the symbol of one who strives for virtue. Keep it with thee at all times, for by this mark thou shalt be known." What else? Britannia. He says, "Even though the great evil lords have been routed, evil yet remains in Britannia. If but one soul could complete the quest of the Avatar, our people would have a new hope, a new goal for life." That's interesting. I think I missed this back in the day, but essentially I'm just trying to be a role model for everyone. That's my point. There would be a shining example that there is more to life than the endless struggle for possessions and gold. Avatar. Lord British says, "To be an avatar, I mean, I knew about the whole Avatar and, you know, eight virtues thing, but I kind of had forgotten already. I don't think I ever really quite grasped that the point was to be a good example for everybody. I know, just a random thing. Yeah, to be an avatar is to be the embodiment of the 8 virtues. It is to live a life constantly and forever in the quest to better thyself and the world in which we live. Quest. Lord British says, the quest of the avatar is to know and... I already said that. No, I didn't want to say that. It is known that all who take on this quest... Let me start over the quest. The quest of the avatar is to know and become the embodiment of the 8 virtues of goodness. It is known that all who take on this quest must prove themselves by conquering the abyss and viewing the Codex of Ultimate Wisdom. Is it worth taking note of that? I feel like it's an obvious thing, but maybe I'll take note. So I'm going to note that final goal or objective. Maybe I'll show my read as I type my notes because it could be fun to look at. Go to Abyss and view the Codex of Ultimate Wisdom. Okay. Alright, so I guess I've asked him about everything now. Oh, evil lords. Look. Oh, more stuff. Okay. Evil lords. He says the great evil lords are Mondane, Minax, and Exodus. They've been destroyed already. 8 virtues. He says the 8 virtues of the Avatar are honesty, compassion, valor, justice, sacrifice, honor, spirituality, and humility. Abyss. He says the great Stygian Abyss is the darkest pocket of evil remaining in Britannia. It is said that in the deepest recesses of the Abyss is the chamber of the Codex. It is also said that only one of highest virtue may enter this chamber, one such as an avatar! Exclamation points, multiple. What else? Mondane. He says Mondane is dead. Okay. Minax. He says Minax is dead. Yay! Exodus. He says Exodus is dead. Yay! Honesty. Yeah, the blue guys. Just Avatar with the blue guy. He says the fair town of... Oh yeah, I should take note of these. Honesty. The fair town of Moonglow on Verity Isle is where this virtue of honesty thrives. Compassion. He says the bards in the town of Britain, which is where I am from as a bard, are well versed in the virtue of compassion. Valor. He says many valiant fighters come from Gelome in the Valerian Isles, and that is valor. Let's see, Gelome. Let me share my notes as I said I would do. Maybe that's fun to look at for some reason. Okay. Justice. In the city of U, I should position this so I don't have to keep moving around somehow. I'll just deal with it for now. That is the city of U in the deep forest. Let me capitalize that just so I know it's the name of a place. Justice is served there. Sacrifice. Minoc. Give me 1 second here. All right. Okay. Stupid. Yeah, there we go. Minoc is sacrifice. On the eastern shores of Lost Hope Bay. That's where I like to hang out, in Lost Hope Bay. Honor. He said the paladins who strive for honor are oft seen intrinsic north of the Cape of Heroes. What else? Spirituality. In Scarab Ray. Which is also the name of like the main town or the first town in the Bard's Tale game. I don't know what's the deal with that name. Spiritual path is caught. Find it on an isle near Spirit Wood. Should I just make an RPG, computer RPG, just to name a town Scarab Ray? And Stu says, for me, honor is intrinsic. Ah, that's kind of funny, intrinsic. Humility. Humility is the foundation of virtue. The ruins of proud Magincia, it is ruin, are testimony unto the virtue of humility. Oh, find the ruins of Magincia far off the shores of Britannia, on a small isle in the vast ocean. That should be easy to find. What else? Pride. He says, of the 8 combinations of truth, love, and courage, that which contains neither truth, love, nor courage is pride. How did you become Lord anyway, says Stu? I don't know, because he's British. Pride being not a virtue must be shunned in favor of humility. A virtue which is the antithesis of pride. Okay. And what else? 3 principles. He said the 3 principles are truth, love, and courage. I'm getting annoyed moving my window back and forth. Maybe for next time I'll figure out a way to make my note window on the screen in some kind of a neat way. 3 principles are truth, love, and courage. What else? Truth. He says many truths can be learned at the Lyceum. It lies on the northwestern shore of Verity Isle. What else was on Verity? Also, Moonglow. Honesty Town is on Verity Island. Stu says many truths can also be learned in jail. What kind of an answer is that? He says, look for the meaning of love at the Empath Abbey. Look for the meaning of love. That seems like it sounds like a bad like pop song from the 80s or something. The meaning of love. Not the power of love though. Or the color of love. So look for Empath Abbey. Sorry, I'm being stupid. Empath Abbey, which sits on the western edge of the deep forest, which was also where Yew is. The town of Yew, the Justice Town, is in the deep forest. Courage. Man, I'm gonna have like a novel of notes. I'm remembering this now. He says Serpent's Castle on the Isle of Deeds is where courage should be sought. Castle on the Isle of Deeds, where courage should be sought. That's it. We've exhausted all the things we can talk about with Lord British. It's quite a few topics. Let's do the health thing for fun. I am not well. Let me heal thy wounds. I remember it being more I don't know, I guess just lengthier, the whole screen flashing white and it played this intense sound like yee! And this one is just like a half second beep. I'm referring to the Commodore version, which is what I'm used to. Alright, that's that. Bye-bye, Mr. Lord Bush. Fare thee well, my friend. Okay, now where to? I don't think there's really much to explore anymore here. So I should head to the town of Britain, probably, and buy stuff. Which door is it? This one? Yeah. Actually, I never went to the east here. Let's try to check that out. Or did I? No, I did not. Who's this guy with the red cloak? You meet a solemn ranger. Name. She says, I am Sheila. Look. Job. I search for the inner light. Health. I am well. Users are using an SMS joypad. No, I'm using my my 8-bit do, 8-bit do, whatever it's called. Join. I cannot join thee. Give. Do not need that gold. Keep it. Stu says, tell her the inner light is a Star Trek Next Generation episode. All right, where's that option? Star Trek. Tell her about Star Trek. She runs away and calls you a nerd. Inner light. Seek inner light in the shrines. Okay, you're not very useful. Shrine. Shrines are needed to enter. Runes are entered. Runes are needed. I'm tired to enter shrine. I kind of already know that. I have that ingrained in my brain, so I won't write it down. Dost thou know of mantra? Tell me about it. The mantra are chants needed to focus thy thoughts while meditating. Yeah, I knew that too, though. Stu says that's the one where Picard lives a whole life in 17 minutes and learns how to play the flute. Jeez. That's frightening, living a whole life in 17 minutes. Alright, I guess we can say bye. Here's a wounded person. Heal, that's the healer. You meet an injured fighter. There's a lot of female representation in this game for sure. She says, I am Sisha. She sells Sisha by the... Let's say Sisha sells seashells by the seashore. Sisha sells seashells by the seashore. I fight for my country. I have a grievous wound. I cannot join thee. Stu says I was thinking the same thing with that rhyme. Cool. We're both on the same ridiculous wavelength. She says, I do not need thy gold. Keep it. That's what everybody says. Wound. Deep. I'm sorry. Country. Britannia. Fight ye for Britannia? Yes. Then seek out the smith named Zircon in Minok. Like a cubic zirconium or something. I'm gonna make a section for random tips in my notes. The myth named Zircon in Minok, for he made the mystic arms. Only they will save thee in the abyss. Okay. And Stu says, I don't think that's random. It's probably critically important. It does seem like it. Possibly I would encounter this guy anyway, but... Random tips are just miscellaneous stuff. Like I have a section about, you know, all the towns and one about the principles and stuff. Alright, I guess that's it. I hope you feel better, Miss Sisha. Hello, healer. The Lord British could heal me for free, so what do you got? I was lined up with him and then I moved away like an idiot. Welcome on to the Royal Healer. I always like this tune. I like all the tunes, what can I say? But this one is usually short-lived because you only hear it while you're interacting with a you know, a salesperson or a merchant. That's why I'm sitting here for a moment to enjoy this tune. All right, Pendragon says, "Peace and joy be with you, my friend. Are you in need of help?" Sure, let's see what you got. Pendragon says we can perform curing, healing, resurrection. Well, can you bring me back from the dead? Who is in need now? Nobody's in need. No one. I guess they don't need help. But it's good to know. Curing, healing, and res. Probably good to write. Dude says play stones on the harpsichord. What? Rolling stones? Let's see. What was I gonna write? Healer. This is probably gonna be second nature eventually, but I'm writing it down anyway. Can cure, heal, res. All right. Okay, I could look at some windows again. All right, that's probably pretty much all I can do in this castle now. And my food is slowly declining. All right, let's head over to the town of Britain. I might have to call it a stream after Britain. So basically I read the rules, did intro stuff, and that's it. Oops, went twice back. All right, the town of Britain. Talk to more generic guards. But this one's a cheerful guard, not a burly one. I am a guard. I am a guard, of course. I am fully healed. I cannot join thee. I do not need that gold. Keep it. We guards have a lot of compassion. Because they're in the town that's compassion. Guards don't really speak very poetically, you know. Just kind of like, me do compassion things. We always say, let all others' troubles be as thine own. Okay, that has some flourish to it. Dost thou kill non-evil creatures? I'm going to say no to the guard. Good. Bye, guard. Bye. Now, I'm sure this one will be a clone, but it's a test. Cheerful guard, I am a guard. Yeah, same stuff, right? Okay, let's leave. Alright, thanks for joining me tonight, guys. I'm not signing off, just saying thank you. It looks like we had in the chat Eric Johnson, Stu, and Dan the Man. I don't know if anybody else has been watching. Are you in the house tonight, Arturo or Ryan? Ryan would have said hi by now. Generic guard again, I assume. Yeah, cheerful. Who's this guy? You meet a drunken fighter. He says, I'm Joe. I ask him his name again. I am Joe. Look, a drunken fighter. Job. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. Oh, Andy's here. Hello. Andy says hi from SFO. What's SFO? San Francisco something? Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. That's his job? He turned away. Oh, I asked him the same thing twice and we got annoyed. Health. And a bottle of join. I cannot join thee. Give. Alright, that's all we can do, I guess. Bye. Turns away. You're at the airport? Are you gonna see a tennis thing, Edie? I'm calling Andy my daughter's name. Andy, are you seeing a tennis tournament or something? You meet a spicy woman. It's funny how some of these I played this game when I was pretty darn young. I was like 7, 8 years old. There's some like tone and things I just didn't quite pick up, like what a spicy woman might mean, you know? That was not a thing that I could really understand back then. And Andy says, you up at the airport? Oh, cool. Enjoy your trip, Andy. Alright, hi, spicy woman. She says, I am Pepper. Pepper. Salt and pepper. I am a fighting bard. I'm a fighting bard, too. Health. My health is healthy. Join. I cannot join thee. Give. I do not need a gold. Bard. Bards know many things. Dost thou seek something? Yes. What might that be? I don't know. No more options. I'll have to say no. Alas, I may have been able to help. I guess I could always repeat the same thing. I'm being really stupidly thorough, though. Yeah, there's nothing for her to say to me. What might that be? There's no... Alright, that's it then. So Andy's watching me from an airport. I guess you're on your phone. Alright, we're at a weapons store. This is where now we're talking, you know. This is where I can actually get something and fight some orcs or something. Alright, welcome to Windsor Weaponry. Again, I like the shopkeeper song. You don't get to hear it for very long, so sometimes I pause. Anyway, move though. Winston says, welcome, friend. Art thou here to buy or sell? Buy? Very good. We have staffs, daggers, slings, swords. What is your interest? What is my interest? What's good for me to buy as a basic beginning bard? Do I have anything to start? I should check that. Fairly well. Let's try selling. So let's see how I can look that up. Camp. Probably status. I have a sling already in cloth. Alright, sling is probably pretty good. If I recall correctly, it's really nice to have missile weapons in this game. And you can't swap them out easily in combat, I don't think. In other words, I can't... I might be wrong on that. Well, let me restate my question. I don't remember if you can swap them out in combat or not at all. But it might be good to have sling and being able to switch to a dagger when somebody, you know, gets close to me. But I don't know. Don't quite remember how it works. And he says, yeah, I got Time to Kill and only played NES Ultima. Was it Ultima 3? On NES they had Ultima 3 and 4, but they didn't call 3. They just called it Ultima Exodus. Ultima Exodus. Alright, what the heck am I doing? So I don't know. I'm not sure if I want to buy a weapon. What kind of armor can I use? It did... I think I can use leather, but let me pull up the manual again. Which one do I want to use is the question. I want to use this manual. There we go. Bards. Bards. All armor save that of leather is shunned by these minstrel. Well, I'm already using cloth, so that's a lie. I've determined that's a lie. No, but leather is probably the highest I can get. And what weapons? Weapon of choice is a sling, but they may use a crossbow at times. Can I not use, like, hand-to-hand weapons? Well, I'm kind of happy with the sling, I think. Let me see if I can afford leather. I'm not sure. That might be, that means I have to hunt down more. Oh, Andy says NES had 3, 4, and 5. Okay. I didn't realize they had 5. Or I had forgotten that. What the heck was I going to do? I have 25 gold, looks like. Not a lot. Let's see how much it costs to buy leather. What is the weapon place? Right. Let's go to the armor place. Windsor Armor. Winston says, another person named Winston. Welcome, friend. Buy or sell. We've got cloth, leather, and chain. How much does leather cost? Ooh, costs 200. I only have 25. Alright, that's gonna be a... Yeah. Gonna be some... Oh, I have 200. I was looking at something else. I have 200. Look at the top. Quite... Well, I could sell the cloth, but how much do I actually get back for it? I want to sell. Let's just find out how much it'll cost. Come on, you don't own any. Oh. I have... Oh, I have to probably unequip it. Ready my skin. That's how you do. You trade. You ready your skin, and that's how you take off your armor. Excuse me. And one minor nitpick in this game is it can be slightly annoying. You have to be directly across from the shopkeeper to talk to them, and they just walk around sometimes. So you got to go chase them down. At the same time, it does give it a feel of like being the game being alive. So it is kind of cool in a way. They're not just like a fixture. They're walking around doing stuff. Anyway, let's sell the cloth or see how much we can get for it. 25. Is it really worth getting the leather? I'll have 25 for anything else. I don't even know what else I need to buy though. If I'm going with the sling as my weapon of choice, I could probably do this. But 25 would be for anything else. Food, reagents, if I'm ready for that. I don't even know if I can cast anything yet, really. Maybe it's worth doing. I don't know. I'll do it. I can always go hunt monsters a little bit and hopefully be pretty good at it with my upgrade armor. Maybe I'm being a little too overconfident. I don't know. Let's try it. Gotta make some decision. So. All right. Hopefully that was a good decision. Let's ready the new leather. Oh yeah, I am no longer naked. Move it, please. This is another thing. It's like, again, it's cool that they feel alive in a sense, but come on, he's standing in the way. Oh geez, at least move more if you're gonna do that. Okay, he moved one. Ah, no. All right, he moved finally. Good. And I'm too poor to do anything else in the town. I can buy the food though. Are you a beggar? I mean, a poor beggar. What's your name, beggar? I am Sprite. Job. I have no job, so now I beg. Get a job, you lazy freeloader. Health. I fear I shall die of starvation. Oh man. I'm gonna have to give her money. Starvation. I have not eaten in a week. Beg. Please help me. Wilt thou help me? Yeah, sure. I'm supposed to be compassionate. In return, I shall tell thee that Pepper knows of the rune. Is that what I already wrote down from Pepper? She told me that a smith named Zircon in mine. Is that the one who told me? No, that was someone else. All right. Let me talk to Pepper then, yeah. Pepper was the one where I was confused because she said she could tell me things and then didn't actually tell me. So it's interesting the way this game works. Again, in the original games that I played, like on Commodore, you could type any subject. So I think I could have asked Rune, but this is like triggering it something to be added to my menu. Probably, I'm expecting. All right, let's do it. Yeah. Did I give her something? I guess I have to give. I don't have a lot to give. You could have 3. Oh, thank thee. I shall never forget thy kindness. Okay. Now I'm the poor one. I had to shell out all that money for armor because I'm a dumbass. Hopefully it winds up being a good decision. All right. So who was that one? You're the one. I see woman Pepper. Ask me about the rune. The rune of compassion lies at the end of a hall somewhere in this town. Oh, it's in this very town. A rune of compassion. A hall in the end of a hall in Britain. Okay, let's go with that. Thank you. Just sitting in a hall. This magical rune that lets you enter a shrine. Alright, we got food and Britannia Manor. I guess it's an inn. The innkeeper says, "Welcome to Britannia Manor. I am Jason. Are you in need of lodging? No. Then you have come to the wrong place. Good day." Oh, shut up, jerk. I say good. I'm gonna sleep in your room anyway. How about that? Hello, shepherd. You meet a wise shepherd. I am Mentor. Then what can you teach me, Mentor? I escaped Magincia. Oh, that's the ruined city where the shepherds live. Health, I am well. Pride was too great in Magincia. Yeah, that's the humility city, but they lost their way or something. The city was destroyed by demons for his pride. Art thou proud? No. Pride exists without truth, love, or courage. Okay. Guess that's it. That's the end of a hall right here. Okay, search. There it is, a rune of compassion. That was pretty easy. I don't expect the rest of the game is going to be that easy. Alright, got the Rune of Compassion. Now I need to know the mantra, though, and find the shrine. Did anybody tell me of that shrine? I don't think so. I'm just looking through my notes. Alright, I got the rune, spirits, food. Probably a good idea to get some more food. Need a drunken fighter. We already spoke to Joe, didn't we? Is this a clone of Joe? This is a clone of Joe. Are you Joe too? Oh my god, how many drunken Joes we got here anyway? This is a seasoned fighter, not a drunken one. He says, I am Devil or Thievel. I search for the mystery of the magic orbs. Magic orbs. Orbs? A one-handed beggar knows their secrets. Hast thou seen him? No. Find him in Serpent Castle, for he knows of orbs. Okay. Serpent Castle. One-handed beggar knows of magic orbs. Good to know. His health is fairly well. So why are you not going to this beggar to get the magic orbs? Only he knows of the orbs gift. Alright. I want to talk to that. I guess it's a bard sitting down playing something, but these drunken fighters and the non-drunken one are standing in the way. Making me waste time. Get out of the way. Go down. Go down. Yay. Now I can talk to this guy. He's probably not going to help me anyway. You meet a bard in green. I am Cricket. Shh, I'm playing. Shh. How are you? Shh. You want to join me? I cannot join you. Do not need gold. Keep it. Shh. Yes. Shh. Now, wilt thou be quiet? Yes. Thanks. Try it again and say no. I'm gonna call the guard. Okay, alright. Bye. Bye. Hello, spirit person. Welcome to Jolly Spirits. Oh, ho, ho. Sam says, what'll it be, food or grog? Have a grog. Here's a mug of our best. That'll be 2 gold pieces. You pay? Sure, I'll pay 2. Here you are. Anything else? Nope. See you, mate. What did they do? I just drank a thing and it did absolutely nothing. I think you have to tip him if you want to. Or pay him extra or something to get knowledge. But I don't have the money to spare. For now. Where should I go though if I leave the town? I should probably heed that advice that you shouldn't wander around randomly. I guess I could go to Serpent Castle with the one-handed beggar. I'd have to think about where that actually is. It might be far away. Yeah, the Serpent's Castle's on the Isle of Deeds, which means I need a bow, and that's not going to happen anytime soon. There's a smith named Zircon in Minok. Minok is where? I don't know anything about Minok. On the eastern shores of Lost Hope Bay. I think my next step might be to sign off, because it is pretty late. And offline, I'll have to translate this map or just dig up a pre-translated one. Maybe I'll just do the... Maybe I'll do it manually just for the fun of it until I get tired of it. Yeah, just to say I'll do it. Just to say I've done it, I'll do it. I'll translate everything on the map, then I can look at where I'm going to go next. And again, the map looks like this. Where you have to use this key to translate characters. It's kind of silly that they make you do that. But I don't know. It could be fun. It could be fun in a stupid way. But yeah, where am I? I guess I'm here at the castle. And Britannia would be right next to this little place. I mean, Britain is this little town right next to it. I don't know what this black circle is, though. It's not really high res, so zooming in doesn't help much. I don't know. Stu said it's a moon gate. Oh, that's supposed to be a moon gate. Okay. Oh, that's showing the phase. Okay. Thanks. Yeah, it's showing the phase of that place. It looks like it's just got a little bit of a sliver on the left of the moon. A little bit of a sliver. I don't even know if that's a quarter. It looks less than that. Less than a quarter. Alright, yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here. Let me... You know what? I feel like we deserve one combat. Let's do one combat before we save it. And hopefully I don't die. I'm just gonna walk around a little bit outside and try to find an orc or something to kill. I'll save my game. In the worst case, I'll have my save. Not here. Oh, how do you actually... I have to save outside, I think. I suppose I owe it to the... owe it to something to explore the rest of the town. There's a healer here. You mean a druid? Name: I am Shapiro. Stu says if you do get chest on a female NPC, you lose honor and get attacked by the guard. Get their chest, huh? I am Shapiro. Okay. I am looking for Julio. Julio? Who's Julio? He knows the true nature of compassion. Art thou on the quest of the Avatar? Hold on, let me write down Julio. Julio knows the true nature of compassion. Yeah, this guy is Druish, and Julio is he's Hispanic, I guess. Art thou on the quest of the Avatar? Yes, I am. Find the Shrine of Compassion east across 2 bridges. It doesn't sound too far, actually. But I'll need the mantra still. Shrine of Compassion east from Britain. I'll take note of that. Across 2 bridges. Compassion. Seek out Julio. His health is all right. His job is looking for Julio. Okay, bye. Talk to the healer. Welcome unto wound healing. Celeste says, peace and joy be with you, friend. Are you in need of help? They also have curing, healing, and resurrection. I'll write that down. Britain. Probably all the places have a healer. I don't know. Healer. I'm not gonna get her chest. Stu. You mean an injured person? He says, I am Sebastian. Hi, Sebastian. I know a terrible secret. Okay. What is your terrible secret? Mondane's influence has not left the world. Oh, that's not good. Mondane. An artifact remains. I heard at Buccaneer's Den. Artifact of Mondane. Buccaneers. Den. Alright, I gotta step away for a minute. Excuse me, guys. I will wrap up the stream in a bit, but I do have to step away. Was there a doubt if I wear pants? All right. I meant to turn off my cam, not the screen capture. But I guess you got to look at my shelf for a while. Maybe that was fun. All right. Yeah, the artifact remains. I heard at Buccaneer's Den. Okay. Wilt thou find and destroy it? Oh, I gotta destroy this thing? I will say yes. Sure. Then ask at the pub there of the skull. Oh, okay. Okay. Do you not wear pants when you stream, Stu? That's what I'm getting from this. Just realized I'm truncating a little bit of the... Alright. Mundane, secret, we already did that, yeah. Alright. Funny, no response. This guy's dead, I think. Or just knocked out. Passed out. Who are you? Small child. He says, I am a child. I am a child. Small child. I am learning compassion. I am learning. The solution to one's problems often lies in solving others. Never care so much for thyself that thou cannot care for others. Know ye the mantra of compassion? No. Ask Cricket. Oh! This is good because I've pretty much got all the ingredients at ready to go to the Shrine of Compassion as soon as I go to Cricket and ask her their mantra. Alright, let's see. Ask Cricket. Write down. Or the mantra. Of course, I'm going to do this in 2 seconds. Probably don't really need to write it down. Yeah, Stu's making baseball references as of, well, like 10 minutes ago he was. A Druish princess. Alright, ask Cricket. Want to join my party, little boy? Belt is okay. I'm learning compassion. Alright. Bye. What about you, other kid? I am a child. I am a child. I'm learning compassion. You're learning compassion too. Same. Are you a clone? You're a clone. Okay, I'll go ask Cricket. Which one was Cricket? A bard? Are you another clone of a child here? Wait. There was a spicy woman. Was she Cricket? These are the drunken fighters. No, Pepper was the fat spicy woman. Who was Cricket? A beggar? Sprite. Bye, Sprite. Cricket wireless. Are you Cricket? I am your mentor. I already gave the beggar money. I need to give her more money, or him. I'm trying to remember who that Cricket was. That's the entryway. Let's talk to everybody here again. Where did the fighters go? Guess they left. Maybe Cricket was just this person. That's Sebastian. This one's asleep or dead. There's Shapiro, the Jewish princess. The Jewish, whatever you are. Look at these people. Cricket was... I think Cricket was in the castle. I don't know. Let me just tell you, everybody. Charming gesture. Bueno. I dance and sing for the children. Very well. Can I join you? Don't want your money. Dance. Dance is good for the soul. Do you give to the needy? I did. Beggars are thankful for small donations. Beggars. To give to a beggar shows compassion. It does. I'm very compassionate. You beat a small child. Another generic one. I am a child. Singing. Oh, their job is singing. They're different. Okay. They're very happy singing. The song goes, ho, eo, he, hum. That must be the mantra. I seem to remember that from like the original Ultima. Ho, eo, he, hum. Those were like the 4 continents or something, though. I think it's just a reference to that. That's not the mantra. That woman on the bottom. Yeah, it could be. That could be Cricket. I feel like I spoke to Cricket. Someone said I am Cricket. I'm trying to remember. It means love to one and all. Ho, eo, he, hum. Okay. Do you like this song? I love it. It's the best song I've ever heard. Okay, I'll talk to the woman at the bottom. I'll talk to the other children first, though. Are they clones? It's looking like it. Oh, eo, he, hum. Yep. Ah, it's YOLO. He would be the one who would join my party if I weren't already a bard. You meet a charming bard. You meet charming bard. It says, charming. He says, I am YOLO. I am YOLO. I play for the people. Health is good. Join. He says I cannot join thee because I'm a bard. I filled the slot already. Give. Play. I play my lute and receive the good wishes of the people. Do you like my music? I would join thee. You can't join me. I am a child. Very happy. Singing. Stu says, hey. Hey, Stu. Try join after he's... No, he can't join me because I filled the bard slot, but I'll try it anyway, just to be sure. I would join thee, now I'm going to join. Cannot join thee, I see. Alright. Okay, let's see. I gotta get to Cricket. She's in this town. I don't know, I thought she was... She must have just wandered around somewhere randomly. That's what they do sometimes. Pretty sure that was a bard. It's not her though, right? That's Pepper. I keep going there again. She's a bard somewhere around here. I'm just gonna look around until I find a bard. That's not that one. Look everywhere. Check every crevice. Did she wander here? Get out of the way, idiots. Is this the one? Oh, there we go. Tell me the mantra. The mantra for the Shrine of Compassion is moo. Moo, that's a sound your mother makes, Trebek. Ha 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 ha. Alright. I think we have everything we need to go to the Shrine of Compassion and nail our first virtue. I don't know if I have enough compassion points, so to speak, though. Maybe I have to donate to beggars repeatedly. I don't know. Give another 5, maybe. Maybe I'll just give another... Yeah, I'll do another 5. Just never forget thy kindness. I'm just earning points. I'm not doing it out of real compassion. Alright, I'm gonna try it though. I'm gonna try going 2 bridges to the east to find the Shrine of Compassion. Yeah, that should do it. There we go. I'm actually venturing out in the world and might get into a fight. Uh-oh, skeletons. Go away, skeletons. Alright, let's sling them. How do we do this? Back. I missed. Back. I missed again. Oh, now I'm toe to toe with him. Hopefully I can use the sling when I'm next to them. I feel like you can. Yeah, you can. Did I get hurt? I got hurt. Alright, skeleton's fleeing. Cool. I want the experience and money though. Alright, here we go. Yeah, that's what's running too. Actually, I don't know if you'll miss out on experience if they flee. That one fled. Right here, the chest. Get chest. Chest all 79 gold. Look at that. I was still concerned about being low, and it seems like the chests have a hefty amount in them. Another skeleton. Well, I'm across one bridge. Alright, skeleton's done. Another chest. 82 gold. Oh yeah, you really replenished that gold quickly. That's good, because I was concerned that maybe it would take a long time. So, where's the second bridge? There it is. Am I in the marsh? Oh. Well, let's keep going, I guess. I actually don't know if this is a marsh. I think it is. Not poisoned yet. Ah! Alright. I mean, that's like, you know, sitcom level comedy right there. Like, oh, I'm not poisoned yet. Poisoned. Should I run back to the healer? I don't... I guess I should just go forward. Hopefully I find it real soon. There, it looks like it might be in this little pass here. I can run back and go to the healer after this. Alright. You enter the ancient shrine and sit before the altar. Upon what virtue dost thou meditate? Why would it not be compassion? It says compassion right there. How many cycles? Oh no, I don't know the answer to this. What am I supposed to do? Fortunately, I'm pretty sure you don't take poison damage while you're sitting here. Shoot, I don't know. 0, 1, or 2, or 3. Trying to think. Part of me says I should just do the max, but it's like, why else do they give you the option? Or let's try it. Let's try it. I don't know. Begin meditation. Mantra is moo. I have to do it again. Moo, moo, moo. Dan the Man says 3. Okay, I've done 3 as Dan the Man suggests. One more moo. Doesn't the L look like a nose? It looks like a nose. Thy thoughts are pure. Thou art granted a vision. 3rd, light the candle of love at the entrance to the great Stygian abyss. Why did I say 3rd? I guess it's part of the larger puzzle. Bell booking candle. That's right, I'm remembering that now. Candle of love. Let me light your candle of love, baby. Yeah, I've written that down. Okay, so I didn't become like, I didn't get that ink piece. I guess I don't know. I don't really remember the process. I guess maybe I have to progress more, or should I try it again? Should I meditate again? Should I do a different number of cycles? Try that too. Oh, you're still ready for the last meditation. Oh, you can only do it so often. Alright. So I better head back and get healed from the poison. It's gonna mess me up fast if I don't take care of that. And I gotta fight somebody here too. What's it, orcs? I'll look around the bridge. That's kind of fun. He's fleeing. Fear my sling. Come on, let's finish him. He fled. Oh, we can get the chest. 38 gold. Okay. Hopefully we can make it back in that. I think we can. Or maybe we might not be able to actually. Just barely make it. Wait, should I go to... I have to remember exactly where these healers are at these places. Let me think for a second. Which one is closer? I feel like it was closer in Britain. No, in the castle I have to go right and down, was it, for the healer? I'm going to Britain. Who says you're fucked up, man? No. Oh, I'm gonna pull up a map just so I don't wander around and have to backtrack. I'm cheating. Maybe there's a way I can get there directly and just barely survive. Alright, let's find the town of Britain. It's hard to find this. I don't know why. I'm finding all random other stuff, like other games. And the overworld map and this and that and the other. I think I'm on the right track here. Oh, jeez. Alright, here we go. Alright, the healing is straight down. And a little to the left. That's right. Okay. It might be possible. Alright. Hopefully I have enough money. I don't know how much it costs. Man, oh man. Yes. Oh no! Don't step away, you dick. No! Oh. I'm like, help, and they're like, I'm gonna walk over here. No, help, I think I'll step this way now. Turing, I'm in need. It costs 100. Oh, man. Alright, it's worth it. I actually don't know if it's worth it, because I would die and reappear at Lord British. Is there any real harm to doing that? I think the real penalty of that is just if you were far away in your travels, and you don't want to reappear at Lord British. So maybe that wasn't the best move, actually. Don't need any more help. I can go to Lord British himself. He'll heal all my wounds. The only danger is if I encounter an enemy on like the 5 steps to get there. 5, 6, 7, 8 steps actually. Stu says, "Man, you're lucky." Yeah, I was kind of lucky. All right, let's go to Lord British. And he will heal all my wounds from all that poison. That's not the right way. Up the stairs, that's right. I don't know why I was going there. It's the kitchen. Oops. I'll get the hang of these locations eventually. Alright. Heal me, please. Health. I am not well. Alright, my wounds are all healed. Woo. Anything else we can talk about? Alright, survival. Good thing. Yeah, I'm gonna buy... Well, I can't really buy poison antidotes. Well, I mean, I can buy the reagents needed to make a cure spell. I don't even know if my character can cast cure. I feel like he probably can. But did I even encounter a reagent story? I don't think I did. Britain didn't have that. Yeah, so I'd have to find another town. Wait, just looked. There we go. Okay. That's the door. Go down and out of here. Alright, so what do I want to do now? How does the meditation work? What am I supposed to do? It gave me a tip. I'm trying to remember, like, how do I get the Ankh piece? I don't have that, right? Just to be clear. I think it would show it somewhere here. It did feel like that was a little bit quick to get the Ankh piece. Maybe I need to do something else too, like go to a dungeon and get one of those stones or something. Stu says if you want a tip, go to the Mohel. What's a Mohel? Let's fight some orcs. Get some more money by killing orcs. It's always a good tactic in a role-playing game. Keep missing and they run away. At least they get their treasure chest. Oh, it's a rabbi. Oh, a moil. Okay. I didn't know how that was spelled. The rabbi, Stu said it's a rabbi that does circumcisions. Alright, I got some more money. I could go back to that shrine. Maybe it's good enough to... Maybe I should just cheat and look up how the shrines work. Shrines are a temple that allow you to acquire one of the 8 virtues that will eventually lead you towards avatarhood. When you get there, you must have the rune for that shrine. Also, when you reach a shrine, make sure that when you talk to Hawkwind, that your virtue... Why was I talking to Hawkwind? That your virtue is high enough to gain partial avatarhood. Oh, he's a seer, right? I didn't find him yet. Okay, yeah, I need to find the seer so he can tell me what to do to bring it up or something. Okay. Okay, so the cycles, there's different tips. I don't want to read those. I'm like cherry picking the things that I feel like I should find on my own and what I shouldn't. But apparently the 1, 2, or 3 cycles just a different tip each time, essentially. So I guess I need to level up, so to speak, my compassion enough. Then I would go to the shrine. Otherwise, I'm just getting tips. But with that in mind, how can I find Hawkwind? Did I write him down? He was in the manual, I think. I don't know if I wrote him down, though. Maybe this is excuse me. Maybe this is a good time to call the stream. Yes, it's been going quite a while actually. What a stream, and most of the time, maybe about half the time, was reading manuals. About 2 hours of manuals and a little less than 2 hours of actual gameplay. That's fun. Funny. Alright, yeah, let's call it there. I think this is a good place to do quit and save. Why don't we... Oh, you know what I could have done? I think I could have also, instead of going to Lord British, I could have camped. Anyway, that's alright. Yeah. I would have still been poisoned, though. I just would have, I think, healed. Anyway, yeah, let's call that a stream. So, thank ye all for joining. And Stu says you can't camp. This isn't an MMO. What? You can hole up in camp, it's called. Dan the Man says the C64 version had such a satisfying smack sound. I loved when your projectile struck. It did. Or killed. Compared to this version, even the poison sound was scary. Yeah, it really had good sound. Even the Lord British healing you, it was like this maybe 3-second, and the light was shining the whole time. It makes the sound annoying, my impression of it, but it was really cool. But yeah, this game is a little weaker in the sound department, I'd say. Overall, it's a fine game, I think. So yeah, that's all for tonight, and I'm not sure what my cadence will be with this game, or I'll have to think about it. I don't want to just leave it at this and then call it that's my exploration of Ultima IV. I will continue this. I'm just not sure if I'll do a little bit offline and or do it every week or what. I mean, you know, because I like to do all kinds of other streams as well, but I don't know. I guess the point is I will continue this, but TBD how I will format it or schedule it. So that is all for tonight, though. So thanks a lot, Dan the Man, who seems to be really into this game. So that's cool. I'm into this game too, Dan Demand. And thanks for being a regular lately. I've been seeing you around a lot. I appreciate that. Yeah, who else was in the chat? Rob was here earlier. He only said like one thing. I don't know if he's still around. Probably not. Eric Johnson has been watching. And Stu and Andy. So thanks to you guys. And to anyone else who might be watching this now or the archived version later. And yeah, I don't know what my next stream will be. Probably I'll do my typical Saturday stream. And I will continue the game book I was playing on Saturday, which was the Krampus Night Before Christmas. Yeah, I would love to finish that. And I will have Rob Bob joining me most likely as co-pilot for that. And yeah, that's all, guys. Stu says, good stream, Mark. Dan Demand says, enjoy the stream. Good night. Oh, yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Good night.